Now, our feature presentation.
And now, being recorded in front of a live studio audience inside the Mushroom Kingdom, it's the most random show on the internet. It's TBK Live! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the only show on the internet that you can still use a Game Genie code on. Welcome to TBK Live. And joining me today is the Waluigi to my Wario, Mr. Brody. What's up?
It's me, Waluigi.
Oh my god. Why isn't Waluigi in Smash? Still pissed off about that.
You know, I don't think that Waluigi or whatever, however you fucking pronounce it, I don't think he gets his just desserts. I think it's an underrated character.
He is an underrated character. He's awesome in he's great in Mario Party, and he's great in freaking Mario Kart. But when it comes to Smash, they're like, this motherfucker ain't getting anywhere near it, which means he kills bitches. Pretty much, that means that Waluigi's thing would just be taking a knife and stabbing him in the throat.
Oh, Waluigi definitely is a hooker monger, and he definitely kills them when he's done with them.
No, sure. Yeah. He's a politician in the 80s. All right, so... We got a lot of things to cover. If you haven't guessed by the open of today's episode, we're talking E-fucking-3. And I know it's still going on, but my God, what a tremendous two huge press conference from Sony and Nintendo. Or no, from Microsoft and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Sony decided, we're not coming today. Still don't.
We're going to sit this one out.
Yeah, I actually have to talk about that eventually, because I think that the days of conventions are dying.
Why do you say that?
I will get there.
Okay.
I will get there. So people are tagging me in that con. Like, you send me the story. Now I got tagged twice on Facebook in a story about the spice. All right. So let's start off with the beginning. It is Pride Month. Don't forget to visit our store. Pick up some amazing Pride t-shirts. Half of the proceeds go to the Trevor Project, helping put down LGBTQ youth suicide. We need suicide prevention. It's a tremendous project. Check out their website, trevorproject.org. And the other half goes to Billy Dixon's Pride Pile Driver Project, helping out LGBTQ wrestling fans down on their luck. It's an amazing deal he is doing, and I think it should be commended that just one single person is going out of their way to make a difference in someone's life. So we are helping them out. So pick up one of these awesome Pride t-shirts at Shop TBK. All right.
Can I just say one thing real quick? That interview that you did with him.
Oh, geez.
Is honestly, like, and I say this in comparison to every spin-off, any radio show, whether it's Striking a Chord or Brody and Richard or TBK Live or the Winos or whatever, I think that is the single greatest piece of radio that you've ever put out in the history of you doing
100%. 100%. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to that, I put it in the live feed as well. I do with most interviews, because I feel like you guys as listeners need, if you haven't already, go listen to it. Even if you're not invested into wrestling, you know, we don't talk about just wrestling. Which is fun.
Even with whatever your opinions or beliefs may be in terms of the LGBTQ community, it is legit a riveting fucking interview and is one of the best I've ever heard. Like,
I didn't even have to
seriously that good.
I didn't even have to do that much work. I mean, he just took control and was awesome. But we even talked musicals. We talked about Zoe 101. I still do not understand how stapling a man's head goes, like, we go from stapling a man's head to Zoe 101 in like less than a minute. But hey, it's an interview that you should listen to and check out. Billy Dixon's an amazing individual, and yeah, I've got the emails, and we will book him for an episode of Live, because he's a giant nerd too. So,
oh God, I would love to talk to that man,
because we talked for an hour, pre-interview and post-interview. Like, we were, it's like recording with your friends. It really was, and I went, this is not what I expected at all. So
he seemed like a very genial and down-to-earth dude.
Oh, he is. Check him out at the Billy Dixon on Twitter, and listen to the interview if you've not done so yet. That'll be up on our YouTube channel coming up soon as well. By the way, we do have a YouTube channel, TBK Radio. If you don't want to, I'm trying to get all the shows up now. Like, I'm slowly behind. Like, I'm now just getting up to posting Cinecrap. And that was almost 2 weeks ago.
YouTube is kind of a hassle to upload to. I'm not gonna lie.
It takes an hour and a half to render every video, and then it's just like another hour to like 30 minutes to post one. I'm like, fuck. I don't have all this time to be doing to render videos and shit, but that's what I'm doing. It is what it is. All right. So, talked about Pride. Want to make sure that gets down. And yeah, no, thank you for that, because the Billy Dixon interview is probably one of my favorite interviews I've ever done.
And you can tell, like, honestly, I'm not trying to like suck your dick or nothing on air.
Well, I mean, if you want to, I mean, we could make a mint. I mean, Pornhub's offering $38,000 a year now, so I mean, shit.
But for reals, like, you can even tell in your voice and the way you conduct that interview, like, that is just like it. It is truly the best piece of TBK radio you've ever produced, hands down. And
then more interviews still to come. I'm not going to give out any information, but because you're friends and you're a friend with me on my actual Facebook page, you'll understand where this is going.
Okay.
Think about what I just posted yesterday, and now just sit on it.
Ooh.
That's all I'm going to tell you, because you'll understand. That's all that matters.
Done and done.
Guys, we've got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to talk E3. I feel that's just where we have to begin, right?
It's certainly the largest chunk of what I think we're going to be discussing today, because so many fucking bombs dropped over the last couple of days.
How do you want to start this? Do we start with Microsoft? Because, I mean, that was the first big thing of E3 anyway, was Microsoft's press.
I guess we could start there. I mean, I know where I'd start, but...
Okay, where would you start? You tell me where.
I would fucking start with Keanu fucking Reeves.
Which,
start there.
Which, by the way, was in the Microsoft presser. So, yeah, let's start there.
How awesome...
was Keanu
Reeves right now, just in general. Like, after him showing up at E3, that absolutely cements him as, like, the next pop culture icon.
I think he was already there. And I love...
Yeah, but this sealed the deal, though. This was awesome.
And then after his, like, appearance at E3, then all of a sudden he starts trending on Twitter for another thing about how every time he takes a picture with a woman, he never puts his arm around her.
Yeah, I noticed that, too.
And, like,
I saw that.
Everybody's applauding him. Like, he's on fire right now. I may not like his movies, but as a person, he is a really awesome dude.
Yeah, he is.
I do want to play Cyberpunk 2077, though.
I can't, like, take the Keanu Reeves, like, all right, let's talk about the game itself. Like, it's been hard for me to watch the actual E3 conference live just because I have a lot going on, with having a daughter.
Can I tell you something about that real quick? I thought out of all of them, Nintendo's was the best, but it was already pre-done.
Yeah.
The Microsoft
pre-packaged.
The Microsoft presser, to me, was so damn boring that there were times, like, they released 60 games. They showed a trailer for 60 fucking games. Okay, cool.
But you know what you know what I'd say to that? Like, maybe the actual presentation of what they were releasing might have been on the boring side, but that's probably the message. The message they're sending is like,
boring.
We might not have much of a presentation, but our fucking footage we're showing you is so goddamn good that we don't need to have a presentation.
Well, their gaming stuff, like some of the games, which a lot of the games they did show at their trailer, also at their presser, is also going to be out on PlayStation and PC as well. Like Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be out for all systems.
But then they showed stuff like Gears of War 5, which is just
their
exclusive to Microsoft.
Which looks, I'm not the biggest fan of Gears, but that looks decently well. Oh, we're skipping Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk looked good. I wonder,
I didn't really get in depth, so maybe you would have more information than me at this point. So I'll ask you. But is Cyberpunk next gen, or is that coming out for the current gen?
It is going to come out for current gen. They'd only announced one game for next gen, and I'm already I have a lot of problems with the next gen Xbox console already.
Oh yeah, well, we're going to get into that.
A ton of issues. But no, all the games that were announced except for one is just for the current gen of system.
Okay, good. But no, Cyberpunk looks awesome. Like, one of my favorite movies of all time is Blade Runner.
That's a good movie.
And the sequel too. Like, if you see the sequel with Ryan Gosling, like, I don't know how they fucking did it, but they made the sequel even better than the original.
I know that you're gonna get hate mail, and I'm so fucking stoked for it. I can't wait to see the inbox going. That
You
motherfucker.
fucking bring them on. You bring them on, and I will take all those motherfuckers on because Blade Runner 2049 is an even superior film to the original.
Do we see
Blade
another
Runner.
poll in our future? Do we see another poll? Huh?
You no, because that one I know I'm gonna lose. Like I know for sure I'm gonna lose that one.
Well, you're already 0-1 in polls, so
Yeah, I know. I'm not doing too hot. Article forthcoming, but
next week on live. We promised it this week, but he just got it to me today. You jackass.
it was hard. Like I was trying to make it sound genuine, and every time I started, like every nice thing I'd say about Batman Forever, I'd say like 5 mean things. I had to temper myself.
So what's going to happen is next week it's going to go through our editor, and our editor it'll go up on the website, and then next week on the show he gets to sit and listen to it read by Charlie. So that's going to be fun.
But no, like Blade Runner, I love the reason I bring that up is I love that universe. I love science fiction. I've always grown up a big sci-fi nerd. And so like seeing that kind of semi post-apocalyptic, cyberpunk, it's the future but it looks like the past kind of thing. Like I love that aesthetic of it. So seeing of like an actual AAA title with actual like studio weight behind it, it looks so badass. Like the graphics look awesome. I don't know about the main character you're playing as yet. He seems like kind of a cipher, but that's only one trailer, so
the trailer didn't really give much. A lot of the trailers I felt didn't give much. Except
I think it was just more for the flash and pomp and circumstance than about the actual
just
stories.
Having Keanu Reeves there, that's all that mattered.
Oh, dude, fuck. Can we glow? Can I just sit here and glow for a minute about Keanu Reeves? Like, goddamn. I've been a fan of his my whole life, so for him to finally have this much of a pop culture acceptance, more so than he's ever had before, I'm on cloud nine now.
Okay, so I told you I'm not a fan of his films. I'm going to say not a fan of his more modern work. I'm not the biggest John Wick fan, even though I enjoy it.
Dude, John Wick, for me, is like the modern rebirth of the action movie. Like, I dare you to name a better current, like, straight action. I'm not talking like
The Marine 6.
Huh?
The Marine 6.
Get fucked. You silly bastard. But, like, I challenge... I don't want to do this as a poll either. Cause I think at
no, I get where
the
you're
listeners
coming
are just going to be out to make me lose.
I don't think you could win. Yeah, no, I don't think you could win now. I think that's where we're at.
I'm just done. I'm never going to win again. But honestly, like and everyone has their own opinions, and I fuck with that, man. Like I would love to talk to someone who has a differing opinion, like to have an actual conversation. But in my personal opinion, I think the John Wick franchise revitalized when people think action
modern
movies nowadays,
action genre. Yeah.
They think of like the Marvel movies, and those aren't action movies. Those are not like there's action in them, but they are not action movies. Like John Wick is front to back an action movie. Like those are what like I grew up watching like your Schwarzeneggers, your Bruce Willises, your Stallones, like actual action movies. Like, and I miss those types of films, like hard R-rated bullet ballets, as I like to refer to them as. And you just don't get movies like that. So when the first John Wick came out and blew my dick off, I was like, what is this? And then the second one came out and it was even better. And then the third one came out was even better than the second one. Like it's crazy. And it's fucking Keanu Reeves. And everyone used to make so much fun of him for being like a one-note actor. And now he's like one of the most popular guys in the world. So fuck you.
Well, there's just this. I hated the Matrix series, and I think that's what killed me on Keanu.
Okay, I mean, I think that was a jumping off point for a lot of people.
Like
so
it was just that,
wrong.
like it's just a point going. I just why? But okay, so this game looks good.
You only get like a split second of him at the end of the Cyberpunk 2077 trailer.
Yeah, no, he's not in the trailer, but like the last maybe 5 seconds, and it's great.
But he drops an F-bomb and it's just like I can't, and he's got a robot arm. How cool is that? Fucking Keanu Reeves
Jax
with a
had two robot arms in fucking Mortal Kombat. We don't talk about how awesome Jax is.
Jax is an asshole. Honestly, like Jax is like the worst Mortal Kombat in my opinion.
I don't know. Have you played with Stryker?
I don't like him.
I was gonna say, have you played with Stryker? Stryker's pretty bad too.
Dude, Stryker would wipe the floor with Jax.
Because he has grenades. That's it.
Exactly. You just got to throw a grenade at his head.
What does
His head's not made of
What
metal.
does Nob Sabot or Cybot do? Like what,
Noob Saibot.
yeah, what's he do? He's
All right.
just a shadow.
Noob Saibot is the reincarnated soul of the murdered first version of Sub-Zero. So, like, the Sub-Zero character in the Mortal Kombat mythology was killed by Scorpion. And
Get
very
over
first
here.
Sub-Zero. And then he was resurrected. I don't remember how, but
It
he
had to
was
be like
resurrected.
I think it's UMK3 when the character debuts too.
Yeah, it's right around there. And then he gets resurrected as this, like, shadow demon ninja.
Who can't
And
do anything.
No one knew who Noob Saibot was, but they retconned it as such that he's the murdered reincarnated soul of the very first iteration of the Sub-Zero
That's
character.
dumb. All right, so things that another thing that got shown that I'm super excited for, but again, it's all for all consoles, is Lego Star Wars all 9 movies.
You know, I enjoy the Lego video games. I really do. Like, they're fun distractions, but they were never like a big draw for me.
Right. But I mean, like for that one game though, okay, so for one, it's a game you can play with the entire family. And I'm 100%.
absolutely.
And
Like,
those are needed. 2, the fact that you can once you unbeat everything, you can go back and play the movies as different characters. You bet your sweet ass I am playing through all 9 movies as Qui-Gon fucking Jinn. What is that about? I mean, couldn't you see?
like the concept is cool, but it's just I don't know.
I'm
Like, you know
excited
what?
for
The
that.
one Lego game I really like. I really like the Lego Avengers game.
Those were fun too. I'm 100% in on those. Let's talk Gears 5. You know,
Yes, let's.
I'm not. I don't know much about the franchise. It took me a minute to figure out what it was because I was like, it
Pull
looks
up a
like.
chair and let me explain.
Oh
to you, 'cause
Jesus! It looks.
No,
But I
Go
mean,
ahead, I'm
I
sorry.
kind of knew what it was. I was like, it looks like Gears of War. I'm probably wrong. The trailer is really weird. Like, no gameplay at all. It's just, I think it's Kate going through different, like, all the characters are popping out of her head. It's really awkward.
Okay, so Gears of War is a franchise. It's very near and dear to my heart. I'm gonna give a little backstory because it has sentimental meaning to me.
It's right up there with pop vinyls of Nickelback. Continue on.
That was a fifth of vodka I just swished, just so you know. When I moved, the first time I moved away or moved out of my parents' house, I moved all the way to Texas. So I didn't just move down the street or to a different neighborhood. I straight up moved thousands of miles in the opposite direction. I was 21 at the time, and I got to Texas and it was fun, but within 3 or 4 days, I was immediately homesick. I just wanted to go back home. I just missed my friends. I missed my family. I missed my brother. Just wanted to come back home. So my mom, who knew I was a gamer, bought me a brand new Xbox 360
Aw.
and sent me, at the time, a brand new copy of a game called Gears of War.
Let's all have let's all have a monumental all together at once. Everybody out there listening. Oh. Yeah.
So it was very, I had never heard of it before, and it was the game had just come out, I guess. And my mom was like, here, I know you're homesick, and I know you like to play video games, so hopefully this keeps you distracted. So I put it in, and my mom fucking knows me. She knows me, because this game is everything I love about action movies and horror movies and giant monsters and buckets of blood and fucking chainsaws on machine guns and shit. This game was simple. It wasn't a very, deep or advanced game. It's a squad of 4 soldiers.
At least at that time it wasn't.
Well, it still really isn't. It's gotten progressively a little more depthy. It's progressively had more depth as the series has gone on. But at its core, it's still a four-person co-op shooter.
Or
it's
a
really not that
3-person, depending on where you are with the new Gears stuff. But
so I bought that, or my mom bought that game for me, and it has a sentimental attachment to me.
Right.
And then I've gotten every subsequent Gears title. So there's Gears 2, Gears 3. There's Gears of War Judgment, which is a prequel to the first Gears of War. They remastered and re-released the very original Gears of War for the Xbox One. So got that one. And then there's Gears of War 4, which is the direct predecessor to the new one that's coming out. And the reason why that trailer is the way it is because at the end of Gears of War, spoilers for, a very, very old, well, not very old, but an old video game that's been around for a little bit. At the end of the game, Kate, who is one of your squad that you roll with in Gears of War 4, finds out that her mother is related to the Locust Queen, and the Locusts are the main, antagonists of the series.
Okay, so it makes sense. It makes
so
sense
she
if you're
finds
a
out
fan.
that her mom is related to the Locust Queen, and at the end of the fourth game, this necklace that Kate's been wearing throughout this entire game, she flips it over and sees it's the Locust symbol, and that's how that necklace was given to her by her mother. So I think the next game is going to be, I know that on Gears 5, your Kate is going to be the playable, like the character you play as. In Gears 4, it was Marcus Phoenix, who's been the primary hero. Like Halo has Master Chief.
Yeah.
Gears of War has Marcus Phoenix. In Gears 4, you played as Marcus's son, JD Phoenix.
Okay.
And Kate was one of his partners, one of the squad you rolled with. And in this one, it looks like you're going to focus on Kate and her journey to find out what's going on. Now, this trailer that they just dropped at E3 isn't actually the first Gears of War 5 trailer.
Okay, we'll see that helps. Because, it's a really, if you have no idea what's going on.
It's trippy as fuck. It really is.
I'm just sitting there watching this going, all right, do I have to be high?
This is like a David Lynch version of a Gears of War trailer.
Yeah, I figured I had to be high to understand it. Like, I was just sitting there watching.
No. If you YouTube, there is a original trailer. It's like 4 or 5 minutes long. It does a little bit of story. It kind of catches you up to where these characters are at. It kind of reveals to you that, like, you're going to be playing as Kate in this game. It shows a little bit of gameplay footage, so it's kind of like more of a story and game teaser, so it's got a little bit of both. This one is just a straight up story trailer. And the thing they revealed is typically the series has gone by Gears of War, like they've used the full phrase as the title of the game.
Right.
This one is just simply being called Gears 5.
Yeah, and they showed a lot to the game. Like, they actually went more in depth. There's like a new mode that you can play with 2 other friends, and you raid or you try to stop some. They showed a preview of that with Xavier Woods from Up Up Down Down, and I watched. I went ahead and watched them play, and I'm like, okay, this looks okay. Like, that's not my style of game. It's whatever. It looks good, though.
I really like it because it's co-op. Like, I like co-op games. I don't like where you face off against each other. I don't like deathmatch style games. I really don't.
Right.
I like being able to sit down and play co-op games. That's why I like games like Borderlands or Gears of War, or Left 4 Dead, stuff like that. You guys play together as opposed to against each other.
So and then they announced Gears of War Pop, which was fucking adorable. Like, that looked fantastic.
Isn't that a mobile game?
Yeah. And the fun part is like she tempts the bad guy in it, because I know nothing of Gears of War, with like a box of exploding kittens. This is funny. This is actually funny, and I'm kind of hoping maybe Pop gets into the making of games like that. I can get behind that.
Aren't they the ones making that game, or is that a Coalition Studios?
It's probably Coalition, just with Pop Care. It's like the Lego games, like Lego being.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of Lego, the racing title for Xbox, Forza, is going to have Lego cars.
I've never, ever liked racing games.
I
think the last one I played was Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Have you ever played the Burnout series? Those are some fun fucking games, man.
Nope, never did.
Those are fun. Those, like Burnout, I don't remember which one it is. I think it's Burnout 3 is real, or Burnout 4. So much fun. I never played a Need for Speed game.
So many of the games that I play feature racing segments, and that's good enough for me. Like, I could not. I'm not good at racing games.
Oh, I'm not either.
So that
I'm
helps.
not, if you watch me playing Grand Theft Auto, you know how horrible I am at driving cars on video
Grand
games.
Grand Theft Auto is different. That's not like a racing game. Like I'm talking like Need for Speed or Gran Turismo.
Mario Kart does not count in this argument.
No, I was just about to say Mario Kart doesn't count. That game is fun as fuck. Leave it alone.
Like the realistic racing games, which I don't think Sony's made a Gran Turismo game for the last 2 consoles, honestly.
Yeah, it's just that's the last that just shows how old I am. I haven't played a racing game since Gran Turismo.
I owned it and for PlayStation 2 because the graphics are fucking awesome.
Do you know what my favorite racing game of all time is? And I don't even necessarily think it kind of qualifies as a racing game.
EA NASCAR 98.
I'm going to put my phone up to my butt right now. I'm going to fart into it.
All right. You asked for a racing game.
Because that's the level of discourse we've reached. No, Crazy Taxi.
Oh, Crazy Taxi's a blast. Crazy Taxi's great on the actual.
I don't think it's technically a racing game.
Yeah, but
you're racing from point to point. But I love the soundtrack, and it's crazy. It's in the title of the game.
I put up a lot of these trailers because I didn't want to put up all 60 of them. There's so many effing trailers to post from the damn Microsoft one. I think the other one we have to cover, and I don't know if it's a Microsoft exclusive or not, though. Mm-hmm. I know Borderlands 3 is not, but Borderlands 3 has been announced for a while, and I know this is not the first trailer that came out. So
we got to talk about Final Fantasy VII.
Well, that's going to be on multiple platforms too. I was thinking, is Elden Ring going to be on just Xbox?
No.
All right. So this is my thing with Microsoft. So technically, they didn't really show that many games. It's going to be primarily for the Xbox system.
Say it again?
They didn't show that many games. It's just going to be exclusive for Xbox.
You know what? I got the impression that there's not going to be a lot of console exclusive newbies. Like, unless you're already a pre-established franchise, like Gears or something like that, I don't think you're going to get a lot of exclusive. Now, I thought Final Fantasy VII was exclusive to PlayStation because the original one was exclusive to PlayStation.
But it's not. Like, it's going to be out on all the different systems, which is crazy.
Well, no, I know that in retrospect. I'm just surprised they went that route because, like, I know Final Fantasy nowadays, in terms of the current series of titles, is cross-platform.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, I like the idea of console exclusives because then you don't have to worry, because like the PlayStation has different hardware than the Xbox. So you got to take this game and you got to, you're not going to it's not going to be built equally between the two platforms. Like, it might run better on a PlayStation than on an Xbox or vice versa. But when you tailor games specifically to a console, then you're getting an optimized, like take for example, Days Gone, which has been a game I've been like obsessively playing over lately, is a PS4 exclusive. I don't think that game is massive and open world, and as much as there is to do in that game, I just don't think it would have worked. I liked it better as a console exclusive because then you don't have to, you can worry about making the best possible game if it's exclusive to a single console, as opposed to like, oh, well, we gotta maybe dial the performance back or dial the graphics back because we got to make sure it performs the same on both consoles. Like,
which is one reason why multiple platform games kind of look like ass.
Because you have multiple platforms of hardware you have to, play to. You can't just play to your single platform. And I can understand, like, I understand the business and the logic behind it. You want your game to be played by as many people as you can. But I feel like a lot of gamers these days have both consoles.
Or all of it. Like, they have everything. I think at this point, every gamer out there has a PlayStation, a Switch, and an Xbox. It just depends on which one you're going to go back for. Because, I mean, honestly, I'm just going to say it. Are there enough titles on Sony, on the PlayStation, and the Xbox now to justify having both? Are there enough just console exclusives?
I agree.
Because, I mean, I don't know if there are.
I think there is. Like,
is there? Because I don't know.
Not new ones coming out, but like I I have an Xbox One S and I have a PlayStation 4. And honestly, Richard, between the two of them, I've been playing the PlayStation a hell of a lot more than the Xbox. Now, there are games on the Xbox I do play a lot,
but
the PlayStation has, like, you got your Uncharted series, which is fucking awesome. The Last of Us, which just blows your dick into the dirt.
Fantastic.
Days Gone, like I just mentioned, is good. You got some games, like, you can't... I'm flubbing on some of the other exclusives right now. But
I just don't feel like there's as many as there was. The one reason I think PlayStation 2 and the Xbox was so head-to-head hardcore was because there were so many exclusives on both. Because I'm going to go ahead and say PlayStation 2 is probably the greatest console of all time. But there's a reason for that. There's a reason that gen is still looked at as probably the most popular gen of console games, is because, the graphics aren't as good, sure, but each console had their own games.
Right. It wasn't about, like, the whole cross-pollination thing hadn't really started happening yet.
Right, because we're not going to ever see Halo on Microsoft. I say that now, on Sony.
Halo on Sony?
I say that now, but fuck, we're probably going to see Halo on Nintendo. I'll get to that.
I'll get to that.
I will get to that. Because I see that coming. And I have a reason for that. No, okay. And I think that's our next spot in this, is Microsoft talking about Game Pass. I think Game Pass is a wonderful idea in theory.
I was going to say, on paper, it's a decent idea, but, like, I like to own my games. I don't like to just rent them.
It's not even a rent, you're streaming them. So take it into consideration, like, how you watch Netflix is how you're going to game.
And that sucks because, like, the Netflix quality isn't always great.
And it's going to depend on your internet, too.
So, like, let me ask you this. Yeah. Would you rather buy digitally or would you rather stream digitally?
Buy.
You would rather buy digitally because you at least have the game downloaded to your console, so it's at a constant, steady, level of quality.
Let's talk about Game Pass for a minute. They talk about they just launched during their E3 press conference. They're doing Game Pass for PC, and it came out that day. Where you could play the entire Halo franchise on it.
Ooh.
On
PC.
PC
gamer, that'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, on PC. And they did all the specs to make it run better on a PC. Okay, awesome. Game Pass is coming for Xbox later this year. They're going to be doing their own thing. And then there was another part to this too. Oh, and you get, like, it's Game Pass for Xbox Live Gold, whatever the fuck that is. Because I don't have an Xbox.
You've never played an Xbox, have you?
I haven't had an Xbox since the first gen.
Okay, so there already is a Game Pass. It's already in existence.
But, like, what they were talking about at the E3 thing, where they're going to be able to do the games, like, the streaming stuff. Like, okay, so if there is, then that's on me. But
yeah, Game Pass. I used to subscribe to Game Pass. It already exists.
Okay, so but you can bundle all of it together with the PC.
That would be cool
for $14.99.
The bundling thing.
Yeah, $14.99 a month. That's actually a really good price to me.
It's not bad.
But, and here's where my butt lies. Okay, so
your butt lies in the chair.
No, well, I hope everyone knows when I record 90% of shows I stand.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds exhausting.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Like, I have to, I'm animated enough to where I can't sit. Okay, so by the way, if I'm sitting, I'm stuttering more. Just letting everyone know that. Fun little detail out there that not a lot of people know. Okay. Earlier last year, it was announced that Xbox was trying to put the Game Pass on Nintendo. Like, Nintendo and Microsoft were working a deal to put have Game Pass be available on the Switch.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that deal's going to happen. If it isn't already done, it hasn't been 100% announced. Because Microsoft's idea, because they're last right now, and I think everyone knows this. They're last.
What do you mean they're last?
Nintendo's ahead of them and Sony's ahead of them in sales right now. They're last. No, they are. The Switch
really?
The Switch outsold the PlayStation last year. I mean, shit.
Well, I know that Nintendo's on top, like that. I'm not doubting, but
Sony's ahead of Microsoft on sales. I get those reports monthly for reasons.
No, I'm not doubting you.
Oh.
I find that hard to believe because the Xbox One X is a superior machine to the PlayStation 4 Pro.
No, everybody likes the 4 more, the Pro more.
Really?
Yeah.
But okay, I mean, to each their own for certain.
Okay, so here's where that comes in.
Okay.
Microsoft wants to do the like multiple platform game. Like if you're playing on a Switch, like if you're playing Fortnite on a Switch, you can also play on you can play people playing on an Xbox. And I love that idea, but that was something Microsoft had talked about, was putting Game Pass on Switch, which tells me, because now I know that you can play all the back catalog, because I don't know if that's done or not, but the entire Microsoft catalog is going to be for all, I think every Xbox system is going to end up being.
That's new, because like they have a level of backwards compatibility now, but it's not everything.
They said the entire library at E3.
That's massive.
And I went, okay, but that being said, if they're doing
so let me stop you real quick.
Yeah.
Just so I can better understand. So you're saying that would be included on this Game Pass, like $14.99 a month?
Yeah.
Gets me every Xbox game ever released?
I think that's what they were talking about during the E3 presser.
Sign me the fuck up, because that would seal the deal for me right there.
Because
like,
there's another part to this we haven't got into yet.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, I'm getting to that real quick. And then,
okay.
But the idea is if they've remastered the games to play on PC, I honest to God think they're going to remaster them to play on every system if they work out the deal. I know Sony won't, but Nintendo might.
I feel like Nintendo would be the easiest going one to work with.
I feel Nintendo would be like, yeah, put your shit on ours. Then nobody else will have to buy another console but a Switch, and the Switch is the cheapest of the consoles.
Yeah, but the other two consoles don't act as just game consoles. Like, they act as media hubs.
But if you're just watching,
but
if all you're doing is playing games, the Switch is going to be the way to go, because you can get a Roku cheaper than you can. Like, you can get a Switch and a Roku cheaper than you could Xbox.
I don't want you to get mad at me, but I'm going to shit on this Switch for a little bit.
You can fuck off. You can suck a giant bowl of clam
the
dicks.
Switch is outselling the other consoles, yes. The Switch has some awesome games on it, yes. It does not, and this is not even necessarily me shitting on it, this is just a matter of fact. It does not have the graphical computing power that the Xbox... So you're never going to get... No one's ever going to replace both consoles for the Switch. That's just simply not going to happen.
No, but if you can play the back catalog of Xbox games...
And that's a sweet deal, but that's not going to let you play the current gen games.
Right.
And the current gen games are going to be like as awesome as it's going to be able to play like the OG Halo game on the Switch. That'd be so badass to take that on the road. Like, sign me up.
That Switch Pro controller is really close to that old school Xbox controller.
It does. It really does look the same. I just don't think you're ever going to see people ditch their PlayStation or their Xbox for a Switch.
No, and I don't think they should. But I mean, if Xbox is going to start putting the pass everywhere,
yeah, okay.
I think one, it's going to help them out, but two, because then the next thing they announced was the xCloud, which is where you can have all of your. Yeah, no, that was they talk about this, and then they're like, the next thing they talk about is xCloud, where you can take your games anywhere. And I'm sitting there going, I know where this is going. I know it's coming up after this announcement. They're going to announce the new system, because they did. They talked about Project Scarlet right after this. The idea of xCloud is where you're going to be able to have your game file saved. And I think the games are going to be saved in the xCloud too.
Huh.
So if that's the case, the idea is you will never have to have another hard drive in a system? Is that what I'm getting at from this right now?
That sounds like it, but then the problem people will be running into is then they'll have to be paying for cloud space. They'll have to be charged a monthly fee for cloud space.
Because that's going to be the whole run now. It's going to be, hey, look, if you're running out of cloud space, you can buy more. Ha 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 ha.
Well, that's how I do it with Apple. Like, you get like 5 gigabytes of free cloud space with Apple, but then you got to pay it's like $1 a month for 50 gigabytes, which is what I have right now. I don't even know why, because I mean, I
Why
don't
do you have that
really-
much cloud space through Apple? What the fuck are you doing?
Well, pictures. I got like tons of baby pictures and shit.
You can see Brody's porn videos at xhamster.com
You really don't know. No, you don't want to see the kind of shit that I watch.
xhamster.com/Brody's weird.
I should start an X-Hamster channel.
We should
to
start an
promote the
X-Hamster.
website.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should just start X-Hamster videos and just do like just us drinking water and us washing our hair.
I saw a video on Pornhub the other day of a guy. The title of it was, "I beat my meat raw and unlubed," and it's just a dude punching a raw steak.
That sounds about right. How many views did that have?
But yeah, like they're like the concept of the xCloud is an interesting one. Again, in theory, but it's just another way for them to make more money.
It's also a way to kill.
If you
the
think
disc.
about it, like these consoles, like I'm playing on a 1 terabyte PlayStation 4. Okay, it's
Right.
1 terabyte. I've already run out of room. I've got so many goddamn games on it, so I'm constantly like, when I get a new game, I have to delete an old one just to fit the new one on there. But like, all I got to do is go buy an external hard drive, like a 2 terabyte external hard drive, and I'm straight. But Sony's not making money on that 2 terabyte hard drive I'm buying. SanDisk or whoever the company that I buy it from. So what they're realizing this. They're like, we're missing out on so much revenue in terms of this hard drive space thing. So that's what they're doing. They're introducing the xCloud so they can fucking make more money off of us. It's ultimately what it is.
I agree.
They're not doing it in service for us. They're doing it in service of themselves.
But then it hit me. Okay. So now let's talk Project Scarlet. Because Okay, so they announced Project Scarlet, which is the equivalent of, here's a bunch of people that work for us kissing our proverbial ass to get you to buy something that hasn't even come out yet. Because that video is the biggest steaming pile of shit I have ever watched in the video game world. I don't know how to put it. It's kind of... I'm trying to think of the best example here. So I feel we've all been part of a party where we don't really want to be there because of the person, like a birthday party, but we go anyway and we all have to say nice things. Oh, it's like the videos at weddings. Like when people go around, do you have something to say nice to the bride and groom? Why don't you say it? And you have to be somewhat nice, but then like in the back of your head, you're like, yeah, you know, this shit's going to fail in about 6 months. That's the equivalent of watching the Project Scarlet video. Like I was not excited at all. They announced the specs for it.
So do you think that it, now I didn't really hear a lot about the specs. Is it like an improvement over the current Xboxes?
Here's what it said. Like they actually showed a loading time thing. It took, I think, 10 seconds on Xbox One. It took like less than half a second on the new one. Okay, I don't believe that's how that's going to work. Just letting you know now.
Well, when you and people need to realize that when any tech company, whether it's Microsoft, Apple, anyone that does these big keynote presentations of their new hardware coming out, obviously the demo model that they're presenting to you is going to be optimized for the presentation.
Yep.
That's not necessarily going to be indicative of something that's going to make it to the mass public. They're just given to make it look as good as they can. Doesn't mean it's going to work that way once you get into your living room.
So here's what they said. Less loading times, Zen 2 and Navi technology, 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One Pro.
8K, that remains to be seen.
8K at 120 frames per second.
No one needs 8K. That's ridiculous.
We
don't even have 8K. Do we even have 8K TVs?
We do have some 8K TVs, but not like...
That's fucked. That is so fucked, Richard. That is so fucked. No one has an 8K TV. Nobody who has a no, they just don't.
Nobody owns an 8K television. Fuck this shit. We're out. We're done. We'll see you guys next week.
It's ridiculous. Like 4K is like, how do you get better than 4K? Like honestly, how do you get?
I don't understand how the Ks work, but I'm just here because I just remember when HD came out and I went, oh, so it's just a better, like everything's clear, cool.
It's a pixels by inch. Like it's just the higher the K, the more pixels in the picture they're going to able to fit. The more high def the picture.
It just means everybody's going to get to see pimples a lot easier. That's
exactly.
pretty much
that
what
is
it is.
That's essentially what it is.
Real-time ray tracing, whatever the F that means, new generation SSD and virtual RAM. And when I heard virtual RAM, my ears perked a little because I went, this is going to be the console that kills GameStop. All right. So
if they're not already dead, which I kind of feel
they're on their last. They've got both feet in the grave, and they're just waiting for dirt to be poured on them at this point.
It's fucked up, but it's true.
So when I heard this, and they just announced Xbox Cloud, here's what went through my mind. This is going to be the first console that doesn't have anything physical.
Yeah.
We're never going to have a physical disc. We're never going to have to. We will never be able to buy used games. Everything's going to be at price. This is it. This is the moment that we as gamers are going to get fucked. Because we have not been told in any way, like, oh, can we buy like if somebody has a game, can we buy it from them? That's probably never going to happen.
You see, that's on Microsoft's end. I think Sony, the reason why they sat out is because they're probably thinking, like, all right, let's see this garbage
let's
fire.
See how they're going to fuck up.
And then just do the exact opposite.
Because I don't think I figured the PlayStation 5 will be like, but you can still have disc.
Yeah, they're going to be like, I guarantee you, Richard, I fucking you that when we get the first like promo video or trailer or whatever of the PlayStation 5, whenever they make that announcement, it's going to be like, we do everything the Xbox does,
but better.
Discs.
But better. Apparently, there was a thing come out on Twitter. Somebody tweeted that from a Sony executive, and you can take it with a grain of salt because you're like, you never know, right?
Everybody's a fucking Sony executive in Facebook's eyes.
It was Twitter. Jeez.
Whatever, same difference.
That the PlayStation 5 will be more powerful than Project Scarlet. And I went, well, that's... As I heard the Project Scarlet specs, and I'm not going to lie to you, I went, only 4 times more powerful?
It's like... I was underwhelmed by the specs as you read them. And I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, this isn't necessarily like a next gen. This is like a half a generation.
Yeah, they said this was going to not just revolutionize the way we played games, but this is not just next gen. This is going to be the future. And all I could sit and think about was, this video is the biggest steaming pile of happy shit I've ever seen in my life, because that's all it is. When
Microsoft presented the Xbox One, which, obviously is the current generation, at the E3 panel that year that before it was released, everyone was shitting their pants because their big announcement on the Xbox One's original reveal to the world was that it was going to be an always online console. Like, you always had to be connected to the internet.
Right, and they fucking just got reamed over coals for it.
Dude, they got raked over the coals so hard for that. And then, like, several months later, they backtracked and said, no.
That's exactly what they're trying to do with this one. That's the exact same thing, but they're going to not say it this time. I'll call it out. I did in the article. I'm like, this is where discs go to die.
I don't think it gets to that point. I think the same thing's going to happen. I really think they're just going to get
here's the thing.
Over this.
I don't think Microsoft is no longer... Here's what I feel, and we're going to transition into Nintendo in a minute, because there's another game player that I feel we have to talk in this conversation with this fucking console. Google revealed Stadia during E3. I don't know if you know that.
Wait, they what?
They revealed the Stadia gaming system. They revealed their gaming system.
Okay.
All it is a controller. That's it. It's going to hook up through like a thing you hook into the back of your HDMI. It's going to work like how their Google, whatever the TV thing is. I don't know what it is.
The Google Chrome?
Chromecast. It's going to work like Chromecast, but just for gaming. Streaming games, same principle. It's going to have an extended catalog. And I've seen some of the titles for it. And like some of the titles, man, are huge fucking titles. Where I went, huh. Let me look that up.
Okay.
But they announced some huge names that's going to be part of their gaming deal. They had a near flawless Doom Eternal running at E3 apparently.
Dude, I can't wait for that Doom Eternal game. That game's going to... Oh, we got to talk... All right, go.
Well,
There's something
we'll get to that. We will get to that. No, apparently they had a flawless Doom Eternal running at E3. They're going to be playing Destiny 2 on it, apparently. Like, there's going to be... Like, I don't know if Microsoft is going to try to compete with Sony as much now as they're going to be like, let's compete with Google. Oh, here's some of the games that are going to be for Google Stadia, by the way.
Okay.
So this is some of the list that was talked about at E3, and I'm glad I found it. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Nice. That game's badass.
Baldur's Gate 3. Borderlands 3.
Ooh.
Darksiders Genesis. Destiny 2. Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2, Final Fantasy 15, Just Dance, Mortal Kombat 11, the NBA 2K franchise, Elder Scrolls Online, all the Tomb Raiders, a couple of Tom Clancy games, and Wolfenstein Youngblood. And I mean, there's a few other titles in there that I've never heard of that were just... Oh, Rage 2's in there. Okay, so... like, it's not the biggest game list, but Mortal Kombat 11...
That's a lot of AAA, like, titles now. Like, a lot of those games are, like, popular right now, so it's not a bad list.
No, for... like, I mean, yeah, it doesn't have an exclusive, but I don't think the Google Stadia is going to be exclusive heavy anyway.
If they do even any exclusives.
So this is where I'm going with this. I don't think Microsoft is thinking we need to compete with Sony as much as they're thinking we need to take out Google.
I think that's a mistake if that's what they're doing.
Because I think the war now for gaming is going to be between Sony and Nintendo. Like, we're going to have two separate wars. We're going to have Sony and Nintendo on one side, and we're going to have Microsoft and Google.
Plot of Microsoft
and
versus Google.
Yeah. It's that episode of oh shit, what show was it that had just these horrible, like, oh god. Okay, so I'm trying to think what would be the best equivalent of a television show.
It's like you're watching an episode of Seinfeld and you're getting the main story with George and Jerry, and then you get the B plot with Kramer and Newman.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much the best. That's a good analogy. So that's what I'm thinking now. Google Stadia, like Microsoft is thinking we have to compete with them because Google's doing exactly what Microsoft said they were going to do.
If Google...
And I think the Stadia comes out this year.
If Google hits a home run with the Stadia, then Microsoft is definitely in trouble. But if they start developing their own like in-house exclusives and you get even one of those is any sort of a hit, fucking Microsoft is done for.
Oh, Microsoft's like, and I know no one's going to believe it when I say this. I don't feel like Microsoft's standing on two legs right now.
I disagree. I think the state of the gaming world this year will determine, especially with Halo 6 coming out, Gears 5, like those are massive titles.
Halo's not, here's the thing, the new Halo's not coming out for this generation. The new Halo is for Project Scarlet.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like, they still have like some exclusives that are like Halo is still a huge gaming franchise.
Yeah,
even though we haven't heard from it in a while. It's one of the biggest ones out there.
But can Halo save an entire can Halo save an entire...
It did the original Xbox. Who's to say it can't do for this one?
It didn't save it. It actually launched it, but I don't know if it can save it. If there's a possibility that Sony... Because you know Sony's going to go for the jugular. If they can hit it, they're going to go for it.
Dude, Sony's got some... Like, they got The Last of Us 2 coming out. The Death Stranding game.
We still have no idea what PlayStation 5 is able to do yet. We know nothing. And I know if they're launching 2020, like holiday season of 2020, we're getting the PlayStation 5 either around that time or they're going to wait until 2021 and hit people right in the dicks. I don't know what else to say on that.
Sony is learning from their mistakes because what happened was...
Didn't they launch the PS3?
The PS3 launched before the Xbox, and the PS3 came out, and it was super expensive, and there weren't a lot of great titles.
Buggy as hell.
It just was not a great launch. And then the 360 came out after that, and Microsoft was basically like, "Hey, this is everything the PlayStation was
but
supposed to do."
but that also was buggy as hell because
But
that
not as buggy.
no,
And
both of them were
at
shitty.
least the big thing behind it was more affordable than the PlayStation.
Which right now it's the vice versa because I think the PlayStation is
Exactly.
cheaper than the Xbox, and I went, oh, okay. Which I mean,
So that's what I'm saying. Like Sony's learned from their mistakes, and they're like, all right, let's Xbox come out and do their stupid ass wireless streaming console or whatever, and we'll come out and we'll knock everyone's dick into the dirt, and we'll reveal that we're still doing discs, and then that's it. Like that's it. Microsoft is just done.
because I mean, if Google Stadia takes off, which I don't know if it will, I think it's a long shot for it to take off. There have been others try this, and then they failed.
I think the way we'll be able to determine whether or not Google Stadia is an actual hit is if we got to get an exclusive title from them first.
Yeah, we can't
We got
just
to
go
find out
with-
what they're capable of doing on their own.
I don't. Price point might be a huge thing on this too.
What's the price point?
They
gonna be?
haven't announced it yet.
Okay.
I mean, if Google Stadia is less than $200,
Fucking goodbye, Microsoft.
and you can play those games, like I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of articles online right now. There's one that says the Google Stadia in 4K might push you past your home internet data cap. Okay,
That's
well,
the other thing too. Is like as awesome as it would be to play Borderlands 3 on Google Stadia, you're gonna blow through your monthly allowance of Wi-Fi in like 2 days.
yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I think everyone has to remember that too. Like,
That's another reason why I like my disc-based games. I don't have to worry about my data allowance.
and I mean, I don't think you can download them. So
That's fucking
that
yeah.
I know
No,
of.
I'm sorry.
Now, don't hold me to that. I can't. Oh, we have. I mean, you could play it on the PC too. I mean, there's a lot with Stadia that makes me go, okay. There's a lot of good, and again, in theory, it's the same principle as looking at the Xbox, the X Cloud.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I want it. I'll be honest with you. I kind of want Project Scarlet to fail, but that's because I'm a terrible person.
I really want the PlayStation to succeed and the Scarlet to fail simply because not because I want the hard work that the engineers are putting in at Microsoft to not like let's be honest, like as much shit as we're talking about the Scarlet, dude, they're putting hard work into that console. Whether or not it's going to be a hit, whether or not we like it, there are people who busted their ass to bring that thing to fruition. So we got to give them credit.
No,
where credit's due.
I'm not taking away that from the people who are working hard on it, like at all.
But
'cause,
the reason why I want it to be not as successful as Sony's consoles because disc, I'll never be able. Now I've bought a lot of my games digitally speaking. Like I'm in front of my PlayStation 4 right now. Like I have the Borderlands Handsome Collection, that's digital. I bought the last God of War game came out, that's digital. Days Gone I bought digitally. World War Z I bought digitally. Metal Gear Solid 5 is digital. Killing Floor 2 is digital. Resident Evil 5 and 6 and 7. Like, I bought a lot of digital games, but they're downloaded onto my console. I'm not streaming them.
Right, but I mean that does take up some data. I mean, if you can own them, like if Google Stadia is like you can just buy the games and own them digitally, I don't think anyone's going to say a word to that.
But there's a difference between owning them digitally and having them downloaded onto your console. You can still own that game digitally, but you're still required to stream it in some respects.
It's going to be a weird thing, I believe. I guess let's do it. Let's dive into Final Fantasy VII, which looks, by the way,
Looks like a giant set of titties.
Real titties too, not porn titties. We kind of make it abundantly clear there. It looks awesome.
This looks so awesome.
This is going to be out on all platforms. I believe I read that right. Like it's going to be on the Switch, it's going to be on the PlayStation, it's going to be on the Xbox, and it's going to be on PC. This looks to be the game of E3.
The year.
Yeah. This, and I mean, granted, we've all played it, but
Dude, Final Fantasy VII, the OG game, is like top 5 video games of all time.
that's what got me into the genre. Like I hated the genre on the smaller systems, like on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. Like I absolutely could not stand
RPGs.
Yeah.
No, dude, Final Fantasy VII is like the PlayStation. Like it was just so good. It was like a cyberpunk RPG game.
That's what really
and
launched the PlayStation 1.
I don't think it launched the PlayStation.
Well, no, but I think that's what helped
made it into the stratosphere. Like it popularized it for sure.
And then here's this re-release, and my God, everyone has had a perfect glow up. It is so hot, looks so good.
Oh God, it looks fucking amazing. Like, dude, the PlayStation, like, it's kind of like earlier this year when I did the write-up for the Resident Evil 2, which is another massive PlayStation 1 exclusive that just recently got remade and was like Resident Evil 2 is like such a giant pair of fat natural titties. It's ridiculous. Like, that's going to be the bar that I use to judge these games now. Like,
and this game gets 4 titties out of 5.
4 titties out of 5. Wait, someone's got only 3 titties somewhere?
Of course.
But it's just like that was like a remake of a beloved PlayStation 1 classic, and that game came out, and it has been one of the best reviewed games of the year so far. Just imagine when the Final Fantasy VII remake comes out. It's going to blow everyone's socks off. Like, I guarantee you, Richard, no questions, game of the year across the board.
Well, right now, from what I've read, it's going to come out on 2 discs.
That's insane. Well, that's not out of the
Blu-ray disc.
Because Final Fantasy VII, when it was on the PlayStation, was 4 discs.
Yeah, but for like just knowing,
that's insane. That 2 Blu-ray discs to contain 1 game. Like, do you wrap your head around how massive that game must be?
So one, it looked great then, and I mean for that time, that game looked amazing, and now,
and it still looks good now. Like, the old game still looks good now.
Oh my God, the amount of work they put into remaking this game, holy nuts!
And another thing that people need to be made aware of: it's not going to be a straight remake. Like, they are changing some things. Like, it's finally like 90% of the game is going to be held intact, but there are going to be differences. It's not just going to be this.
Should we just go ahead and say this game's $100 now?
That I really don't like buying collector's editions of games and shit.
But that one you might.
That one I'm going to, hands down.
Like that game's $100 without the collector's edition. That game's $100 because if it's because if it's 2 discs and we're already sitting at 60, there's shit. It's going to be $100. Like, the collector's edition might be as much as a console.
If they
and people will pay
release the Final Fantasy VII remake at normal retail cost of $59.99, that will be, I'm calling it now, as the biggest steal in gaming history.
Well, I can't argue that. It is kind of interesting to know that game prices have not changed in almost 30 years.
Because no. When it was I mean, it's not a huge amount, but
I
during
remember
the place.
Well, no, I remember during the N64 days of buying a new game, it was still $59.99.
Because I remember during the PlayStation 2 GameCube era, they were only like $49.99.
Well, no, because there's sometimes the discs were cheaper. I think that's when it was in between $49 and $59. But I do remember spending $60 on N64 games. But just thinking that those have not changed over time, kind of crazy.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. I mean, because honestly, with the level of artistry that they're putting into these games and just how expensive they look and how awesome, they really realistically could charge us like $30 more, and we would pay it. Like, we would, because the level of craftsmanship that's going, like, you look at a Cyberpunk 2077 trailer, or you look at this trailer for Final Fantasy VII, and you look just how beautiful, just like, I can't even find a word to describe how gorgeous these games look. They could charge us like $100 at just the base game, and we would fucking pay it because they deserve that level of money on those games. That is how good they look.
We are wrong. This fucker's only going to be on the PlayStation.
Booyah, bitches!
We are completely wrong. I did not know that.
I thought it was going to be exclusive, but I thought you were. I mean, I believed that
thought
it was going to.
I thought it wasn't. I thought it was supposed to be on all of them because like all the Final Fantasy now games are coming out on other systems. So I was like, oh,
Well, that's why I wouldn't have put it past them to make it cross-platform because all the other ones are cross-system. But I'm very happy that this one is staying exclusive to the PlayStation because the original one was exclusive to the PlayStation. So why wouldn't they make the new one exclusive?
Which automatically probably gives the PS4 a chance to make a comeback in their sales. Because,
Dude, this game is going to come out and it is going to blow.
Are we not 100% sure that they're not going to launch the PlayStation 5 like the same weekend? Like, hey guys, here's our
God.
Here.
Talk about having an orgasm and then immediately trying like to masturbate just after you've had an orgasm.
I'm
like,
not gonna lie.
It hurts so much, but it feels so good.
Couldn't you see Sony being like, hey, you guys know that Final Fantasy remake? It's going to be our launch title for PlayStation 5. Like,
boom!
And it's over. And they're gone. That's pretty much.
Boom!
Oh my God.
I think, you see, like Resident Evil 2, back in the day on the PS1 was exclusive to the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, all the Resident Evil games were, except for like one of them went to the N64.
Resident Evil 2 was remastered on the N64.
And it looked awful on the N64.
Yeah, it really did. It should have just stayed in the disc-based
That's
format.
one of those weird systems where it's sometimes a game would look really good on the N64 and it wouldn't on a PlayStation, but vice versa. Like
which is weird because the 64 is technically the more powerful system.
Yeah, but it's
of the two.
fucking cartridge shit.
Which
I do appreciate Nintendo going back to, by the way.
Going back to the cartridge?
They did.
Know if they'll go back to it.
They did.
Well,
the Switch. I mean, it's not the same
those
thing.
Those aren't
but
cartridges. Those are like glorified SD cards.
And I'm okay. I'd rather have that than the damn disc. Not gonna lie to you.
Tomato. It's a preference.
I guess we have to talk Nintendo now, right? Like that's where we are, isn't it?
Well, I just want to say one more thing about the Sony thing, and then we'll get into Nintendo. So, like the Resident Evil 2 remake that came out this year, even though the original title was exclusive to the PlayStation, they cross-pollinated Resident Evil 2 between the systems. Like I don't think it's on Switch. I'm pretty sure it's not on the Switch. But like between the Xbox and the PlayStation. And I've had a chance to play both versions of the game, and let me tell you, the Xbox One version of the game sucks ass. Like it's not a huge leap in quality, but I played Resident Evil 2 so much, like I played that game to death, that I've noticed things, and it's like there's like pop-in, there's like pixelization, is what I meant to say. There's like shading on the it runs competently on the Xbox. It's not a garbage fire, but you could clearly tell that their loyalties lied with the PlayStation when they were making that game. So to hear that Final Fantasy VII is going to be exclusive to PlayStation
makes me happy.
Makes me so happy because now they can just focus on the hardware on that system and not worry about making it available to everybody.
All right.
So anyway, yes. Nintendo.
Let's. I'm just gonna say it. Outside the Final Fantasy announcement, which they had like a concert and everything, and that's where they announced the date, which is March 20th, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of all of that happening at E3, and besides Keanu Reeves, I feel like Nintendo may have won E3 for like a 4-minute trailer. Because honestly, as excited as I was for Halo, and we didn't even talk about Halo Infinite.
No, we didn't.
But really quick to go, really quick on that. Okay.
That's it. That's just
Master Chief. Master Chief is back. Woots. I don't know. It to me, I'm not gripped by it, but whatever. But let's.
I'm excited about Halo Infinite. Like I'm gonna play it, but I'm a little cooled on the Halo franchise because Halo Guardians or Halo 5, whatever the fuck you want to call it, came out and it was an awesome game. Like don't get me wrong,
but it sucked dick.
But like for 13 of the 15 chapters of the game, you didn't play as Master Chief, and that's what bothered me. When I play Halo, I want to play as Master Chief.
It's kind of like playing Metroid without playing as Samus.
It's like playing a Zelda game and playing as Epona the whole game. Like what the fuck?
Cadence of Hyrule looks really fun, by the way, but that's a whole nother argument. Let's talk Nintendo because effing hell. Nintendo. Do we just start at the top and work our way down, or build?
Hey, you do it. I'll follow you, man.
Let's talk with some of the games they announced. Let's save the one they announced to the end, till the end of this, because
Everyone knows what it is.
Yeah,
it's
no,
not like it's like secret.
I'm gonna fangirl hard. Number one, right out of the gate, they announced. I don't know anything about Dragon Quest. I know nothing, and
I'm not a big fan. Like, you're probably going to know more about some of these titles.
Well, I mean, I know nothing of Dragon Quest, but they announced Dragon Quest 7 characters for Super Smash. So I'm like, okay, cool, and that was how that's how the E3 presser began, and I went, okay, so that's the big announcement for Super Smash. That's a little disappointing, and they rectified that later on in their presser, because they went, oh, and also coming to Smash is Banjo fucking Kazooie, and I'm like, thank God, fuck yeah.
It's about goddamn time.
Like, if it's a Nintendo property that has never gotten its just love, by the way, it's Banjo Kazooie, which came out for the N64. Such a fun game.
I loved Banjo-Kazooie back in the day.
Yeah, and now they're going to be part of the Smash universe. 100% into this. Like, I'm there. Luigi's Mansion 3.
It'd be cool. I loved the first one.
They announced a few different things that Luigi can do. Luigi looks like he's about to piss his pants the entire time they show the game. That's great. But I was excited for this announcement. Out of most of them, I went, okay, so Luigi's Mansion is going to be the key for them right now. I went, okay, so I thought we were going to get a Super Mario Odyssey 2. Like, that's what I read. But this leads me to the end of this conversation believing that I don't think E3 is the end-all, be-all anymore. And I'll talk about that at the end.
Okay.
And then Animal Crossing. They announced a new Animal Crossing game. I'm not excited for this at all, but I know a lot of people are.
I had one of the Animal Crossing games. I'm not sure which one exactly. I had one of them on the GameCube, and you know what? It's a fun little distraction. Like, it's a fun game, not a terribly exciting game. You know what it is? It's like a good mobile title. Like, if they released it onto like your cell phone or your tablet,
yeah, it'd be great for that.
That'd be a good platform.
It looks fun, but it doesn't look like my kind of game. But whatever, if you're into it, you're into it. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Again, this reminds me of Mario Party, where it's like you'll pick it up if you have friends over, but that's it.
I miss Mario Party.
Mario Party's a hoot. We have the one for the Switch. I enjoy that. One you'll be excited for, the Resident Evil 5 and 6 redos for the Switch.
Oh, dude, like, I am, I don't know, in case you guys didn't notice, I'm a big fucking Resident Evil nerd. Just in case you guys didn't, notice that. I have Resident Evil 5 and 6 on every console I own. Like, I have it on Xbox 360. I have it on Xbox One. I have it on PlayStation 4. I'm still going to buy it on the Switch because now I can play it on the go.
They're also apparently, they're also, I don't know if this is supposed to be a digital release, but someone can look this up. They're also releasing the original Resident Evil for
like the
Switch.
OG or the remake?
No,
remake.
The OG.
Dude, that game is not aged well. Like, it's still a fun play, and it's a nice trip down memory lane.
Oh, the
if
trailer
we're
for
the
this.
original PlayStation 1 version of the very first Resident Evil game.
They talked about, there was like a lot, there was like 5 other Resident Evil titles that's just supposed to be streaming exclusives.
Onto the Switch?
Yeah, and I went, oh, that's awesome. But the trailer for this is like these 2 kids playing in a haunted house. Like, it is fantastic. I went, okay, so Nintendo got the trailer thing right. Like, out of all the trailers that I watched all weekend long, because I thought Microsoft's, outside the Gears 5 trailer, which still sticks with me, that's how good that trailer was. I thought most of the trailers were meh. But then the No More Heroes 3 trailer happens, and I'm hooked, and I know nothing of this franchise, but now I want this game. That's how much fun the trailer was.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure what No More Heroes is. Can you?
No, I don't know anything either. But like, the trailer is this dude who's talking to the camera the whole time and is a dick. And I was there for it. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which looks like it's going to be Thanos. You're fighting for Thanos. Okay, cool.
Ultimate Alliance 2 is like one of my all-time favorite games. So I'm down.
It looks
for
good.
that.
Like during the preview when they showed
I don't
Electra.
like that it's a Switch exclusive.
Yeah, no, I did see that it is a Switch exclusive, but Electra.
I don't like it's a Switch exclusive just because like every other Ultimate Alliance game was a cross-pollinate.
And it may
So
not
why
be.
is Nintendo getting
It might be not a Switch exclusive, but I know right
You think
now,
a timed exclusive, like it stays on the Switch for a little bit and then it comes out for everything
which
else?
that could honestly be. The Witcher 3 for the Switch, and that looks fantastic.
Dude, The Witcher 3 is like a straight up BA badass game. So
And it
like
looks
the fact that it's
amazing on the Switch. Here's the thing with the Switch, and I know that it doesn't have the greatest graphics in the world. I know it's not as powerful as the PlayStation and the Xbox, and I'm fine with that. It is what it is. But most games still look great on it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to have like the cutting.
You don't
edge
need
for some
8K.
games. You don't need 8K. But
don't
like,
need 8K.
I'm going to tell you right now, if it came down to like playing Halo 6 on the Switch or the PlayStation 5, I'm going to play it on the PlayStation 5. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so the two games that I would like to talk about the most. You know where this is going.
Yes, I know where this
Let's
is going.
start with Legend of Zelda. Oh, wait, there's going to be a Tales game, too, by the way. And I got
I
super...
love Tales of Symphonia is such a badass
No,
game.
not that. Tales from Sonic.
Oh, Sonic and Tails.
Tales is going to have their own game.
Really?
Yeah, I was kind of excited for that. I went, okay, that's cool. There was one other trailer in this that I didn't put in the website because I couldn't find the trailer. But it was called Empire of Sin. And it's like a mafia-based RPG.
Oh, we got to talk about the Avengers game that Square Enix, the makers of Final Fantasy VII, are making.
That game looks like ass. I'm not going to lie to you.
All right, so we talked about the Avengers game that Square Enix is making.
Like,
Cool.
I think Square Enix is the only thing they should have talked about at E3 was Final Fantasy VII. Like, that's it. Like, I went, oh God.
Wow,
God.
that I don't know. I kind of liked it, but that's just me.
The Avenger, it looks bad. Like, it looks okay. So
We talked about it.
Yeah.
It's done.
Link's Awakening. We're gonna start there. So they're rebooting this. They're remaking the Game Boy. I think it's Game Boy Advance title or Game Boy Color.
Isn't it Super Nintendo?
No, it was a Game Boy game.
I thought it was a Super Nintendo game.
No, they're turning it into. But one of the cool features of it, because they actually showed some gameplay during their trailer. But one of the cool features is you can create your own dungeons.
Really? So like Super Mario Maker style?
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
So I'm now look, I was already gonna buy the game.
Now I'm for sure
Or buying the game. And Super Mario Maker 2 comes out later this month, and I'm like, yeah, that's happening as well. Cadence of Hyrule, another Zelda game, which is I don't know much about it, but you're Cadence and you walk around Hyrule.
You live in Hyrule.
Yeah, but you can play as Zink. You can play as Zelda and Link. I just combined them.
Is Zelda with a zinc deficiency?
It's their ship name. Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, so they do the trailer for Banjo-Kazooie, and I'm like, that's a great way to end it. And they're like, we have one more thing. And okay, so in my head, I'm thinking it's Mario.
In my head, I knew what was coming. I rolled my eyes the whole time. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is not subtle. Just get on with it.
Okay, so originally I thought it was good. Before the trailer began, I thought it was going to be Super Mario Odyssey 2. Because everyone is talking about how there's going to be a second Mario game on the Switch. Because Odyssey was a lot better than it probably should have been. I did not expect to enjoy Odyssey as much as I did.
Odyssey was a lot of fun.
But they start the trailer and I fucking squeed so goddamn loud that I probably, if my neighbors would have been home, the police would have been called. Because at that moment, I went, oh my God, is this what I think it is? I also thought it might have been DLC content, but it's not.
It's the full game.
It's the follow-up to Breath of the Wild.
Cool.
What the hell? For anybody who out there who knows, for the last 6 months, that's all I've been playing. I'm getting ready to download the DLC. That's how much I've been loving the.
Oh God, that was so funny.
You're
You're
a dick.
getting all excited, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah. I know you're excited.
I love the Zelda franchise. I do, but I just was not that. Like, this trailer didn't knock me into the dirt. It really did.
This trailer not only knocked me into the dirt, it bought me dinner. Like, I bought it dinner. Like, that's how great this trailer was. Like, and it's not that big of a trailer.
Fantasy trailer was better.
Oh no, I think that was a great trailer too. Like, out of E3 weekend, it's Final Fantasy VII and Legend of Zelda. That's what we're talking about. The sad part is Microsoft started the thing. We should be talking about Project Scarlet. We should be talking about Halo Infinite, but we're not. Like, we have just completely overpassed that for Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2, which I don't know what it's going to be called, but it's going to be the same graphics. It's going to be the same world. I got fucking stoked about that because that does make it.
Wait, so it's going to be the same world as Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
So why aren't they just releasing it as DLC content if they're just making the same game over again?
They're not. I think okay, so it's a follow. Well, like, all I know is it's a follow up. So but it's kind of cool because that means Hyrule's not changing.
Okay.
That's going to make it so much easier. They'll probably make it bigger. I could see that coming.
Like, expand it, yeah.
Yeah, because, to say that and to think about it is that game came out for the Wii U first.
Well, no, didn't the Switch and the Wii U version come out at the same time?
It might have. But I think they were building it for the Wii U first. Like, they started building it in 2014.
Yes, I think it started out in production as a Wii U title, but I think I bet you're right. I bet they reverse engineered it for the Switch.
So this is because the Switch version does look a lot better than the Wii U version.
Oh yeah,
but
not a question.
But now I know this is pitter patter. But I know this is pretty much going to be a Switch version.
Because there is no other Nintendo console.
No, there's by the way, Just Dance is coming out for the Wii.
The regular Wii. Very first Wii.
The regular Wii. It's coming out for the Wii U as well. No, I went, what?
Those are still a thing?
Kudos to the Just Dance team. It's like the Wii is the console that never dies. Well, didn't they still make PlayStation 2 games up until like past the launch of PlayStation 4?
Maybe. I can't like comment on one way or the other because I'm not entirely sure, but that's possible.
PlayStation 4 game. Or PlayStation 2 game. Oh my god. The last PlayStation 2 game. The last PlayStation 2 game came out in 2014.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. The PlayStation 2 really hung in there.
Like, it's still going. Like, come on. What the fuck? When did the PlayStation 4 launch?
I don't know. It was launched in 2015.
Oh, please be 2014. Oh, 2013. And started on sales in 2014. My God, the PlayStation 2 was still going.
That's crazy.
Contra, they released the new Contra game. The Contra Anniversary Collection is also going to the PlayStation. Okay, cool. That's pretty much it. That's our video game news. So
are we done talking about video games now?
Well, kind of. I wanted to bring up something.
All right,
but this also involves Comic-Con. I think E3 and Comic-Con as we know it will be dead within the next couple. Okay, will not be not dead is not the word I'm looking for, but will not have the same amount of power as they have now.
Comic-Con definitely. E3, I don't know. I feel like E3 is going to be around a little bit longer.
Well, here's my reasoning. Okay. Nintendo's presser was just the Nintendo Direct. They do those monthly.
What do you mean Nintendo Direct?
Nintendo does this thing called Nintendo Direct. What they do is say it's like their E3 presser, but they do it monthly. They talk to the people who own Nintendo stuff in the press, and they release trailers because that's where they first released Link's Awakening trailer was at a Nintendo Direct in October of last year.
Oh, okay.
So Nintendo has made it to where their things have almost become a must-see every month. And I went, okay, that's cool, because they just did a Pokemon one 6 days before E3 and showed Pokemon Sword and Shield.
What the hell is Pokemon Sword and Shield?
2 new Pokemon games that are coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, okay.
And they look fun. Like, they look really fun, including with new Pokemon. But I went, okay.
Jeez, how many Pokemon are they up to now?
Like More than cows in a small town.
I remember when I played a Pokemon game that only had 100 Pokemon in it.
The very first one.
Yeah, red and blue. I had them both.
So this one, like they're gonna be together. I think both stories will gel, and I'm cool with that. So where was I? Okay, so with Nintendo doing that, Sony has pulled out. So I think Sony's gonna make their announcements at like whatever they do in the fall because they have their own thing in the fall.
Yes.
This goes with Comic-Con as well. After the success of Star Wars, whatever the Star Wars celebration, I honest to God don't think movie studios and game studios need the big events anymore.
No, I think you're right. I think you're very right. I think the fact that they've gotten very more clever in their own marketing, where they don't need to rely on the giant arms of the conventions and the big events like Comic-Con or
Comic-Con doesn't even stream to the fans. So let's talk about that because that's how pissy I am. Okay, so Hall H, Warner Brothers has pulled out a Hall H for this year, and Disney pulled out a Hall H this year.
Because they don't, and Disney don't have anything all they got is Star Wars, but
Marvel. So Disney,
Marvel doesn't. They just Endgame just happened. Like they don't really have anything.
But they
to
pulled
show.
everything out of Hall H this year. Like there was going to be 4 different franchises that Disney was had in there, and they pulled them because D23 is coming up, and that's their own deal. And D23 gets streamed to the fans. Star Wars Celebration got streamed to the fans, which was fucking badass, by the way.
Yeah, it was. Like I didn't go to all 4 days or 5 days or whatever it was. I went one day because my wife and her roommate got tickets, and they went all weekend. I just went the Saturday, so the day they revealed the Jedi Fallen Order gameplay trailer.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't reveal that at E3.
But like I watched the other 2 days on my phone streaming while they were at the convention. So.
And it's like that's a fantastic thing to do. The fact that most studios now may not be using Hall H at San Diego tells me San Diego is not going to be as prominent in the next 2 years.
It's not going to be a pop culture thing anymore, but maybe they'll just go back to being a comic book convention.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to get to because there are so many comic conventions now, like C2E2 and Planet Comic-Con and Fan Expo, and like there's all these different Salt Lake City Comic-Con. I will always call it that. Fuck you, San Diego. And there's all these other comic conventions out there that are fucking huge. Right? I mean, they're drawing the fucking numbers out the wazoo, and then have these huge major stars at them that do these panels that give some news. Like you don't have to have the major studios at every convention, but just having the actor there, worth it. We don't need San Diego. Like we, honest to God, may not need San Diego to tell us what's coming up.
I haven't looked to San Diego Comic-Con for nerd news in a long time, to be honest with you.
We covered it last year, but we didn't have much to talk about. And I went, okay, so... Because, I mean, like 2 years ago, I think I actually put up an article called The Trailer Park, and it was just all the trailers. Because that's all San Diego is.
But that's all it is, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? The reason you're right, it's not as relevant because like those trailers usually end up on the internet before the Comic-Con hits anyway.
Yeah, no, now movie studios are like, if we can host our own event, fuck it.
Why would we pay these people at
these huge comic conventions? Yeah, I think San Diego...
like why pay them if we can just make our, do it ourselves?
I think the appeal of San Diego is going to be the biggest comic convention in the country, probably always. Okay, that's fine. But I think the appeal of San Diego and E3 to a lesser extent, because if the major studios aren't going to be there anymore, because like if Sony's going to do their own thing, they don't need E3 anymore. Nintendo's doing Nintendo Direct, they don't need E3.
Microsoft definitely does, though.
Yeah, Microsoft needs E3. But like Apple wants to get into the video game market. And I figure at some point that's going to happen, especially with Google doing it. Like Apple's going to come in there, but they don't have their own, like they don't have to go to a tech show to announce a new Apple product. They
host their own event.
Yeah. I think that's kind of where we're going.
It certainly the pieces would certainly seem like that's the case. Yes. For
Yeah,
sure.
I'm working on a huge article about Hall H this year, and being that this is probably the last year, like last year may have been the last defining year of Hall H at San Diego, because with Warner Brothers pulling out, with Disney pulling out, especially in a Star Wars year. Think about that. There's not going to be a Star Wars.
That's crazy. That this is the final conclusion to the entirety of the Skywalker saga, and Disney's just straight up not showing up.
Disney pulled out of Hall H, and a lot of people are surprised by this because now Hall H is going to have to host things that aren't as popular. And yeah, sure, they'll be full because it's San Diego, but I'm going to say that most people want to go to San Diego for Disney properties, Warner Brothers properties, since they have DC. I mean, we're at a definite change, and I don't want to say that Comic-Con's dying.
We're at a turning point where the next few years will definitely determine whether
San Diego also fucked themselves over by that whole lawsuit against Salt Lake City.
Yeah, that didn't really do them any favors, did it?
No, like saying that they own the Comic-Con name is complete and asinine bullshit.
Comic-Con it's like saying, God, that's so stupid.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I can't even find the words. It's just so stupid.
I completely agree. No, because honestly, if you were to run your own comic convention, you have to call it something else other than Comic-Con or Comic Convention. And if San Diego finds out about it, you're going to probably have a lawsuit.
It's just because that's the only way they're going to make money anymore, because they don't have shit to do there anymore.
And in like people who sell comics are being stuck in like a room in the back now. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, people who sell comics, it costs so much to get booth space at San Diego. And then they're put in the back, like in an area just for comics, and everything else is now on the main floor. So the real reason of why San Diego started is not even on the main floor anymore.
That's crazy. It's a comic book convention that's not even featuring the comics. That's
right.
Fucked up.
Right. Then it just becomes an entertainment expo.
That's what they should just refer to it as. People should just stop calling it Comic-Con. It's not Comic-Con anymore.
So that's...
And that honestly, unless you're like a smaller regional convention, none of them really deserve to be called Comic-Cons anymore. Like, honestly, like the conventions these days, and I'm not just pulling this out of my ass, I'm saying this with a heavy heart because I am a avid Comic-Con or convention goer. They're multimedia conventions. They're not comic conventions anymore. Their focus isn't comic books. The comic creators, you have your artist alley, and that's awesome. But that is not the focal point of these conventions anymore. People go to meet celebrities. That's what it is. Or they go to buy shit. It's not about meeting the content creators. It's about getting the content.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. Let's segue into DC. DC's fucked. All right, now that we got
Yes, DC Universe is fucked.
So
like
is that what they called it? Is that what they call their online streaming platform? Is DC Universe?
Yeah, DC Universe.
Okay.
It was such a neat concept too, because like, all right, Richard, I love the DC comics. Like in terms of the actual books themselves, I prefer DC over Marvel.
DC has better. DC has better comics, 100%. I will make that argument up one side and down the other because I don't enjoy Marvel's run right now. I think it's crap, with the exception of Squirrel, which is coming to an end. So fuck Marvel.
I think Marvel's made some very questionable decisions as of late. In terms
like
of
ending
comics.
Squirrel Girl. Fuck them. I'm not letting that go, man. I'm sorry. Continue on.
Hold on, I got to reboot my brain for a minute. Give me a second. All right, we're good. DC just makes better books at the end of the day, but Marvel pretty much has them cornered on everything else.
Well,
let's be
okay,
honest.
so Marvel has the movies, but I feel like DC also has the better animated movies.
All right, I did forget about that.
And
the
DC
animated movies are pretty choice.
And DC also has the better TV universe.
That's an argument I could make for the opposite. But
Nope.
we'll
until you can tell me that there is no longer a Marvel show in Freeform, DC will always have the better TV universe.
I disagree, but again, that's another debate for another time.
You watch Freeform?
Well, I disagree that that DC has a better fan base or TV show universe than Marvel does.
Okay, we're going on Agents of Shield. Agent Carter.
That's one show. And you know
Agent
what?
Carter.
For every Agents of Shield, there's a fucking Legends of Tomorrow. You dick.
I was getting into all the other shows. God, that's the first show that came to my mind. You calm your tits there, Warrior Princess.
But like, to get back to the DC universe, like, it wasn't like there were two things that really got me to sign it, because I signed up for it day one, like, because I'm a DC fan, so I'm like, cool. This is like, it was $4.99 a month. It has all this content. It seemed like a no-brainer. But the two reasons that got me on board the DC universe were it was going to be the only host for Batman the Animated Series streaming online, which was like one of my favorite cartoons of all time. So fuck yeah, I'm on board. And to a lesser like sub kind of extent, it has all the DC animated movies, all of them. But
which is worth
the
it
thing
alone.
that really sold me when they did their launch video and they were kind of explaining the concept behind the DC universe was the ability to read the comics. Because Marvel, say what you will about the quality of Marvel books, the Marvel Unlimited platform is awesome. Like, it is so easy to use and there's so many comics available. You could read whole runs, like you could read whole series of comics right at your fingertips. So the fact that DC was getting into that game too finally after so long was awesome. And then the platform launched, and what the fuck?
This is the biggest catastrophe since the Hindenburg.
It has been such a rocky launch and rocky path through discovery in terms of what it is they're trying to accomplish. It's crazy. Like, their original content shows have sucked. Like, Titans was awful. It was just awful. There's no way you could say it wasn't awful.
With the trailer and after it came out and Robin goes, "Fuck Batman."
Fuck Batman.
I went, "Yeah, this is going to be awful. Like, this is going to be bad."
And then the only halfway decent looking show they were going to put on the platform gets canceled after one fucking episode.
They are going to stream the whole season, but I went,
I did find that out. So
why,
God.
why even try at this point? Like, what the fuck?
But you made it. You might as well put it out for people to see. Like, it's done. It's in the can. It's not going to do you any good keeping it from people. Your platform's going to be around for at least another year. So put it out there for people to watch.
Is it?
And who knows?
Is it, though?
It might be... Huh?
Is it going to be around for another year? Because I don't think it will be.
You can't just take that down overnight. You really cannot. There's a lot of, like, business end decisions they got to make. There's a lot of technical side. It's not going to be like they made the announcement yesterday and it's going to be down by the end of the week. Like,
DC Universe is the streaming equivalent of Movie Pass.
And that sucks, man, because there was such an excellent opportunity for DC to finally do something right with their brand, and they fucked it up again.
What is up with Warner Brothers? Why the fuck can they not get the DC properties
Warner
right?
Brothers is a bunch of, like, Warner Brothers doesn't have a Kevin Feige. They don't have somebody like that shepherding that DCU. Like, Kevin Feige doesn't just shepherd the MCU. He's kind of shepherding a lot of Marvel lately. They don't have someone who's got a clear vision. They have a board of directors and a studio making studio-based decisions. They don't have somebody. They don't have a filmmaker or a producer or somebody with some kind of, creative vision for what they want to do. They just have a bunch of stiffs in suits making decisions, and that's ultimately it. Like, I read a report online. I don't know how true this is, so take it with a grain of salt. But I read a report on it first popped up on Collider
moviepoopshoot.org.
Yeah, moviepoopshoot.org. But then it was later, like, it was reported by the Hollywood Reporter. So if it's in the Hollywood Reporter...
The Hollywood Reporter, I trust a lot with art. Like, if we're going to break a story, I have to see it if, A, the Hollywood Reporter is one of the places that has it.
Exactly. That's my same line of thinking. So if it's there, then it's got to be somewhat legit. So when the Hollywood Reporter broke that DC is interested in signing James Gunn to be their version of Kevin Feige, I'm like, at least I don't think that's going to end up happening, to be honest with you. But at least they've got their heads in the game. At least they know this is what works, let's do this, as opposed to making these, decisions based on board members and such. Like, that's why their shit ain't working, because they're not fans of the stuff they're trying to promote to people.
They don't know what it is they're trying to push to people. They just know that people like it and it makes them money. But they're not fans themselves. So that's why the shit keeps failing over and over again.
Completely. It's terrible. And in the streaming franchise, which is probably DOA at this point.
Unless Swamp Thing comes out and completely revitalizes everything, which is as much of a shot in the dark as there ever has been.
So the entire streaming service is probably not going to be around at this time next year.
No, absolutely.
I don't
not.
think they're around by when Disney Plus launches.
Oh no, I think it'll still be around when Disney Plus launches, but like for maybe a week, and then it's done.
I don't know how the hell they messed it up, but way to go, DC. So
the only thing they haven't been able to mess up so far is Wonder Woman, and honestly, to an extent, Aquaman.
Yeah, that's because it's Jason Momoa, and that dude just
like those movies were badass. Like
you can only
Aquaman is one of the most laughed at characters of all time, and he ends up making like one of the best DC movies ever made. To
quote The Office, there's only two things you can ooze in life: pus and sexiness. And that movie oozes sexiness.
It definitely was.
So where do you want to go next? Dude, I want to save your rant.
Can I do my hate rant?
Do you want to go ahead and do that now? Do you want to do the Dark Phoenix rant now?
What else do we got on the docket?
We got a few things. I didn't know if you want to save that for like the end.
Yeah, let's save that for the end because I'm gonna get really fucking angry. Like I'm gonna get.
I feel that that's going to be like a very good in piece. Before we can, while we're continuing, there is no bits this week because E3 kind of put us all
took up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, E3 probably gave us a shot of video game meth that we needed. So
well, we've been talking now for like over an hour
just on video games, and we finally get into something new.
Finally got off video games, so yeah.
So this asshole photographer, and I talked about this a few weeks ago on this show. So this asshole photographer, I'm not. Do I name him by name just in case I do get sued in the long run, or do I just be like, fuck it?
I wouldn't. I would hedge your bets.
Okay, so
better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah. So this jackass photographer who took pictures of a television show that came out in 1993, asking us if there are aliens among us. Do your own math.
Quantum Leap.
There you go. Designing women. And we
oh my god.
So this guy sends me not one, not two, not three, but 4 fucking emails. And I am sick and tired of this law firm and their fucking hard ass these practices that is copyright trolling. I am completely sick and tired of it. So number one, they're not. So he sends me a message going, "I will not go away." So now you're just the email equivalent of herpes. Thanks.
Can't you just like block his notifications?
Well, I did. I did that. I've done this. And somehow he just keeps sending them from different emails. So he's the equivalent of a fucking telemarketer.
Like, what does he expect to get out of you by harassing?
Okay, so let me explain what this website is for me. For anyone who does not know what TBK magazine has become for me, I started this website when my mom got sick with Alzheimer's because I had nothing else I could do. I was taking care of her. I gave up every goddamn thing in my life. Wow, I've never went on this rant. I gave up everything to take care of my mom, who was dying in front of me, you piece of shit. So when I did, not you, the listener.
I'm
making this.
I just farted, so it smells like shit.
No, that's what that is. No sirens today. It's just you shitting your pants. Yeah, that's weird. We haven't heard any sirens today. What the hell?
I'm in my bedroom right now.
Well, that's creepy. Okay,
and I don't have any smoke, so I'm not sitting outside.
Okay, so back to I'm sorry. So back to the story. So I started this website because I was taking care of my mom, and I gave up my job at the radio, and I gave up doing stand-up so I could take care of her. And then my health went to shit, and I started having seizures. And I have told people for fucking years that the best job I could be right now is James Bond's personal bartender. And I'm proud of that joke. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I will leave you alone after that.
You have no idea what to say, do you?
I don't.
So when like someone whose health is bad at times and they make a joke, everyone around you is awkward except for the person who made the joke, and they're cackling, and that's what I want to do right now.
It's working.
Yeah. So I have seizures. I don't have pretty much the only thing I can do right now is the website. I can't go work a 9 to 5 because, hey, you never know when a seizure is going to come. And trust me, they're not going to hire you if you know you're just going to randomly start shaking while you're trying to sell a cell phone.
Right.
Because nobody wants a busted iPhone. But, yeah. So this guy has messaged me telling me I used this photo, which I think I said a couple of weeks ago. He did not he hasn't copyrighted it yet. He has filed for the copyright of a photo from 1993 that Fox owns. Want to point that out. Fox owns it too.
So shouldn't Fox technically be the one suing you then?
Yep. 100% Fox should be the one coming after me.
So he can't come after you because he doesn't own the photograph.
But he's still going to come after me because let me rephrase this. He and his lawyer is going to come after me, and that lawyer is a bigger piece of shit than anybody I've ever dealt with. Because
he has no legal recourse because he doesn't own the photograph. The best he can do is campaign for Fox to come after you, and they're not going to come after you.
No, because Disney fucking owns them. Yeah, no, they're fucked at this point. Like the only thing that I think Fox owns still is. No, I think Fox owns Fox Sports.
No, Fox don't own X-Files no more.
No.
Like,
Yeah, no. They own Fox Sports Net and they own Fox News. I think that's it. I think that is all the properties Fox has now.
fucking is this guy? Oh,
yeah, no, this guy's
people.
So, and his personal Facebook page is open. So, being the petty son of a bitch that I am, I go to his personal Facebook page, and on 5 days before he sends his first email, he wrecks his Ducati motorcycle.
Oh, so he wants you to pay for his Ducati.
That's what I'm believing now. I think this dude's just out, like, he's posting pictures of, like, I get it, you're this big-time photographer. Good for you, numbnuts. But, he's flying all over the world. He's taking photos. He's in his Ducati. He's riding a Ducati. He's got all of this money. And I'm sitting here wondering how the fuck I'm going to be able to eat this week. And this motherfucker has the gall to be like, you know what? I'm going to sue this motherfucker for using a photo. You know what? Fuck you, dude. Fuck
what a
you.
cockstain.
Fuck you and your law firm. Because I'm fine if they play this clip in court. Because one, I get to say I could be James Bond's personal bartender in court. That's pretty cool. Like, I want to see the stenographer's face going, he said fuck 5 times.
I want to see the stenographer's face go when they transcribe the word cockstain.
Yeah, no, we have not got to that yet. So then his cockstain lawyer, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Opa!
And if you're playing along at home, it's time to take a drink. I have had messages of people playing drinking games to when they hear sirens when I'm recording with you. So, kudos to you.
Oh, that's great.
Live and the Winos became a drinking game for things said and done in the background. So, kudos to the fans who still do those.
Huzzah! Anyway, continue.
So, the lawyer also then sues me, like, is trying to sue me for a photo used, and it wasn't even a photo, it was a YouTube video. It was... So the layout I used to use, for anybody who wants to know what it is, it's built on the Divi engine. And the Divi engine is has so many fucking bells and whistles, it'll slow down your website to where it barely crawls.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I had to rebuild, because the Divi engine broke. And that's a pain in the ass.
You broke it.
I broke it. Actually, WordPress broke it when it updated. So I was like, yeah. But,
yay, WordPress.
So I'm on the Divi engine, and when you do this, a YouTube video, like, you could just put in the link, and it would just, like, you'd have to run your mouse over it to watch a video. Like, it would look like a photo in the article, but if you put your mouse over it, it's a video. So here's the thing about that. So they have this, like, program that runs like, they'll put a picture in the program, and let's see if anybody has this on their website. And apparently I don't know what to call it. Their program caught the YouTube fucking video, which is not mine, by the way, and is a YouTube thumbnail. Let me point this out. It is a YouTube screen holder. And now he's trying to come after me and says I owe his client $150,000. And I went, again, it's the same lawyer, by the way. I should make this abundantly clear. It's the same lawyer in both situations. So this lawyer, who's just a D-bag, Like, I mean, honestly, he is the law equivalent of getting teabagged.
Oof, that's brutal.
By a guy who hasn't showered in like 3 months.
Oh, and he hasn't shaved, and his pubes are sprouting up the side of his leg.
He is the equivalent of getting teabagged with a guy with dick cheese. Like, I mean,
ooh, smegma.
It is. Schmegma is one of my favorite words ever.
It's such a delightful word.
I can't wait. Stenographer, they said schmegma. So he sends another email, and he's been sending letters to my personal address, and I'm like, this motherfucker. So he's not. He actually does not. He's not able to practice in the state I live in.
So he can't come after you.
So, and he actually threatened to file in court in the state I live in, which is against the California bar, because this dude's in California. So I have now filed a feasance against this jackhole in the state of California with the California Bar Association for trying to extort me. Look, I'm cool. If you message me and I accidentally use your photo, because I'm going to tell you now, finding photos for articles that are free use sometimes is a son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's hard. Like, Google now has something for it, but like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, hell, at this time last year, it's a son of a bitch to find photos that we can use. I am a part of, I pay monthly to be part of a publicity stills thing. And like, I get a lot of production, like, I don't know what the word is, but a lot of
production stills.
Yeah, production stills. I got a lot of those, and I'm like, okay, so I can use these here and there as long as I credit the photographer and or who owns it. Okay, awesome, and I'm 100% fine with doing that. I have no issue crediting a photographer. I take photos myself. I am fine with it. So every so often, this shit happens. The photo in question that. You know, the one photo, the X-Files photo, which I'm fine with saying the X-Files because that'll tell you who it is, decided to, where was I going with this? So one, like I said, the stills are from 1993.
Well within the fair use laws,
20 years. No, and I also, I'm 100% into fair use. And I know I'm doing fair use on both things. One, it's a YouTube video. You can't fucking dock me for someone else's fucking shit. 2, I do believe I'm in fair use because I'm telling about a product, but I'm not explaining about the photo. So if I was like to talk about the photo too, I'm boned. But I'm not. And honestly, it was your article about Doctor Who and fucking the X-Files. Mm-hmm. It's on that article.
That was like amongst the first couple articles I wrote.
I know, it's 2015 or 14. Like this Carolina sausage knob.
You could not have thought about saying that and did not expect it to stop dead in your tracks.
That's
Holy
a t-shirt.
Fuck.
That's a t-shirt. This Carolina sausage knob decides to just message me out of the blue. And I went, okay, well, I'm not going to respond. I have no reason to respond because, one, if you're going to threaten legal action on me, that's fine. Let's see you do it. Number 2, I'll call your bluff. Like, at this point, just do it because you're not going to win. I know this. Like, I could represent myself and win. Like, I'm fine here. I'm good. I will do that. I don't care. But I do have some decent lawyers. And one of them happens to be a former state attorney for Arkansas. So,
wow.
So yeah, no. And I mean, I'm glad to go to war. Like, it's kind of one of those things now. It's like, you know what? You're going to fucking keep threatening me. Let's keep doing this. Because knowing
Cry havoc and let's slip the dogs of war.
Because I know now that your Ducati's messed up and you have to repair it.
What
Carolina sausage knob.
That's like the best thing ever. Holy fuck.
I haven't talked about that in a long time. So yeah, no, when I started this website, it was not just like, honestly, I'm going to say this and it's going to sound terrible. But when I started this website, it was just to entertain myself while I was taking care of my mom.
Yeah. All great things have small beginnings.
And I still write to entertain myself at times. Like, I still do shows to entertain myself. Like, my whole plan is 90% of the time, while I know that you are listening, if I'm entertained, I'm hoping you're entertained. So,
but at the end of the day, it started with your entertainment, and it's just like, if you guys are entertained, that's great. But at the end of the day, like,
no, I still have to make myself. I try to tickle myself. Like, I will write things
Exactly.
so weird in an article. Like, I have an article coming out tomorrow or today, depending on when you listen to this. about the best looking trophies in sports because Game 7 of the
It's
Stanley
such a
Cup.
bizarre topic, but
Because Game 7
entertains you.
Well, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup is tonight. And well, this goes up on Thursday. So at this point, I'm either
I thought baseball season ended already.
Damn you. So at this point, I'm either super happy the Blues won or I'm super pissed. So
The Chicago Blue Jays?
The Chicago Blue. Have you ever had the equivalent of going out with a girl in high school who knew nothing about sports and she's at a sporting event going, score the touchdown goal unit?
Mm-hmm.
That's
My name is Brody. I like sports.
This is talking to you right now. So the NHL, like the Stanley Cup's a beautiful trophy, but so is the Super Bowl trophy until everyone gets their grubby little hands on it and then it's just like covered in.
I don't know about the Super Bowl. Like, it's a cool trophy, but it's just a football on a pedestal.
It looks, but it's chromed. Like it's all silver. Like
I think
thing.
the World Series trophy is better.
Yeah, I like the World Series trophy. Like number 2 on my list is of course the medals at the Olympics because I mean honestly,
it's iconic.
Yeah, number 3, and this is to baffle everyone's mind. The green jacket at the Masters. And yes, I know it's not an actual trophy, but fuck, you win a fucking jacket. That's fucking
That'd
cool.
be pretty sweet. And it's not just like any jacket, a fucking nice ass suit jacket.
Like you never have to worry about suit jackets for interviews ever again. Like you have this jacket, even though it's like this horrible green color that's the same as the putting greens. But you have a jacket, a bomb ass jacket now to wear to interviews. Like that's great. And then if you win Wimbledon, which is number 4, if you win Wimbledon, you have a platter to serve on. Like fuck.
Dude, I gotta go win Wimbledon just so I can have some decent kitchenware.
No shit. Where do we go from here? Let's talk.
What else?
Okay,
what
so
else we got on the
we have
docket?
actually a pride art. We have something for pride. I was going to do this huge tournament, and I don't know if it's going to happen this month or not because somebody fucked it up.
Are you talking about the drag race tournament?
Okay, so let me tell you this. Okay, so number 1. So we were going to do a RuPaul's Drag Race tournament. All the queens, like we took 64 queens. We interviewed some of the staff members who are fans of the show. We interviewed, we asked the fans in a email survey that goes out to random people. Like, hey, who are some of your favorite drag queens? And I think we got like 300 of those back, by the way.
Nice.
So we took all of those and did the top 64. Because we could have done the top 128.
Okay,
that's a lot of drag queens. And then, we're putting together the seating for the tournament, and then New York Magazine, Vulture, whatever it's called,
did their own version of it.
No, did an article, one where every photo looks like a mugshot. Like, they took this famous photographer who just does straight up, right on the face shots.
Mm-hmm.
Every photo is terrible. Honest to God, they're terrible. And I don't know how to explain it. They're just terrible. They picked the worst photographer in the world. You remember, when a kid takes a photo with an iPhone and it's just, really horrible and you're you're never going to post it?
Yeah.
It's actually doing that with a $5,000 camera. Because drag, the thing with drag makeup is it's supposed to be they're doing makeup for the people in the back of the room. It's very
artistic.
Yeah,
it's very
drag is an art.
It's not
form.
just a simple makeup job. You want to flaunt that shit
because you want to do as much as you can to look like you're a female impersonator, or you're doing. Right. It's an art form. So, but the magazine does a ranking on top of this. All the queens thought they were just doing these photo shoots for Pride Month. They never told the queens from RuPaul's Drag Race that they're getting ranked.
Oof.
And not only is the ranking system okay, after 20, they just, instead of doing blurbs about them, they just write sentences. Whoever wrote this article did the worst input I have ever seen on any article in my life.
That's a shame. They had a real missed opportunity there, it sounds like.
Yeah, because they could have built every queen up and talked about things they do off the show. Because honestly, reality TV is a fucking pain in the ass. But it also says that it's America's most powerful drag queens, and all the drag queens listed are the ones from the show. And I know there are a lot of drag queens out there who are not who's never been on the show, who are super huge.
Okay.
So like, I'm pissed off about this because, one, they fucked up. They just fucked up bad. Like, oh my God. But all they did is incorporate RuPaul's Drag Race queens, and all the Drag Race queens have, like, a lot of them have went on a warpath against fucking Vulture magazine, and I am so fucking happy about it. I am living for this shit.
Now, what do you mean by warpath?
Like, one, that the article is bullshit. Like, one of the queens said they lived in Chicago. They actually they haven't lived in Chicago in, like, I think she said 12 years. Mm-hmm. They're just going by Wikipedia things.
So it's not like they even did any sort of
research, and that's why they're getting dragged on the internet. And it makes me super happy. Like, honestly, does it really take that hard to research something?
It doesn't. You have a Google box in your hand. Google it.
Yeah, and that's my problem here. And I went, okay, so I was going to do this tournament. I don't feel like now the time is appropriate because this article just is it's a steaming pile of shit. So
it kind of casts a somewhat negative light on what you were attempting.
Yeah, no, and I'm not like saying that I'm I don't think ranking, like, we were just going to do who's your ultimate fan favorite. But honest to God, this is complete bullshit. So, and this is their way of celebrating Pride Month. And I went, okay, so I might rechange things. So I'm going to retool this a little bit to where any of the queens that I've looked at writing about are all getting inducted in the fucking hall. And like, I'm going to do like 20 inductions into the hall and actually give some of these queens. Like, one of the queens is like a fucking huge person, like huge member of the transgender community. And all they put on there was eliminated twice. That's it. That was in their bio. Eliminated twice from the show.
That's just disrespectful at that point.
Like, seriously, do your goddamn research. Like, fuck me. I can't believe this is part of the, like, I haven't been able to go off on other articles in a long time, and now here I like, yeah, no, you're building your rant now even more, aren't you?
Oh man,
we still got one more story before we get to your rant.
Oh God.
So, but fuck Vulture magazine, and
yeah, that's not even necessary. I mean, it is an issue of representation of somebody who deserves it, but at its core, it's just an issue of not doing your fucking job properly.
Before I get called out on something by people who like, but you said there's other drag queens. Can you name other drag queens? Lady Bunny, Coco Peru, the Boulay Brothers. I've really got into a YouTube series, so I'm putting Ariel Italic on that list. Fuck all y'all. Like, but see, I can name other drag queens not on Drag Race. Hey.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it should have been other drag queens. Like, there are other drag queens out there who are having hella careers. Like, the Boulay Brothers have, like, a creepy drag show on Amazon.
Who does?
The Boulay Brothers. It's called, what the fuck is it called? I don't know the name of it, but it's like a gothic drag show.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
It's actually pretty fun. I'm not, like, the drag style is really different. Like, it's like whoever wins is like the creepiest queen.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, give that if you haven't watched it, I'm going to find out the name of the show so I don't sound stupid. Dragula.
And what platform is it on?
It's on Amazon, I believe.
Oh, please tell me the Rob Zombie song is their theme song.
I don't think they got the rights to that, but
damn, that would have been perfect.
But season 2 ended in 2018. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. You can watch it now. The Boulay Brothers Dragula. So good. It's so much fun. Like, honest to God, it's a completely different show than RuPaul's Drag Race. Okay.
Twofer. We went from not having any to having 2 back to back.
3.
Is that 3?
I've
lost count.
Nope.
I'm desensitized to it. I live here.
No. Yeah. Oh, you mean like Siren's cool? Yeah. No. If you're gonna get drunk, like, honest to God, we're recording Cinecrap tomorrow. For tomorrow and later on, and I already know that if the sirens hit, whoever's drinking in the background will be fucking shit-faced. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. What other story before we get to you going on your rant? Because I feel like your rant's gonna be hell.
It's not, like, honestly, Richard, I'm not just, like, upset. I'm fucking angry. And I'm going to be loud. I'm going to curse a lot. And I'm going to kick a few babies in the process.
No babies were harmed in the making of this show. today.
Well, I'll kick a few stuffed animals. We'll dial it down a bit.
It's like the coach in Letterkenny when he puts on his boots. Like, you don't want to make me kick this trash can. God damn it, motherfuckers! All right,
Fucking Shorzy.
all right. One other story. The Telegraph is a UK newspaper,
Yes.
and honest to God, in my notes it says "jackass lady writer" in the UK.
Oh, well, I don't know if I heard this.
So there's an article that ran in the Telegraph. Nike just released a plus size workout line for women.
That's cool.
Yeah, and Nike actually used real life size mannequins. That's fucking kick ass. Like,
That is badass.
I know a lot of women who I don't feel like mannequins represent women. Like, it's one shape, and that shape is the number fucking 1. Like, I don't understand it. But honest to God, it looks like they're putting clothes on Stick Stickly. If you don't remember who Stick Stickly is, Google that shit. Do you remember Stick Stickly?
Yes, I remember Stick Stickly.
Yeah.
Memories.
Yeah, Stick Stickly was a bastard. Okay, so... all right, where was I? Okay, so this lady posted an article in the Telegraph about how the plus-size mannequins are dangerous for women.
Okay.
Now, when I say this, I'm like, okay, so we're going to go with the stereotype that we should not be celebrating body size. Fuck you, first of all. Humans are like snowflakes. I'm sorry. Like, no matter what, we're not all the same size. We're not all shaped like fucking Stickly. We're not. Like, I'm going to tell you now, I do not have love handles. I have love chunks.
Yes, it's asinine to think that, the people, it's just the society's version of body. I'm struggling with the words right now. You're being more eloquent about the subject.
Society's version of body size is complete and asinine bullcrap.
Yes, that's essentially what I was trying to say.
So this writer, but now this is where the story turns weird. I've got to find this. Okay, so number one, this writer wrote 10 years ago about how you should not be judged by your body size about what you eat. Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Yeah. So she now is writing this article about how these plus size mannequins are terrible while being plus size herself. And I'm not making fun of her weight because that's
pot calling the kettle black.
That's kind of the weird thing here. Like, I don't understand how she went from an article from 10 years ago talking about how she would, like, every woman should be able to eat cupcakes and not have to worry about it, to being told to talking about how obese mannequins, and this is the exact title, obese mannequins are selling women a dangerous lie. Same woman wrote this, like, an article 10 years ago about how all women, like, body size should be appreciated. Just a month ago, and it might be less time than that. She wrote, this is an article she wrote for the Telegraph. It's not just zealous men who want to control women's bodies. We're doing it to each other. That's less than 2 weeks ago. She posted that article in the Telegraph to obese mannequins are selling women a dangerous lie.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
You know what this tells me? Oh, she's also wrote another article. She wrote another article about how she gets judged for smoking and how she shouldn't be judged for it.
But she's judging people for she's fat shaming people.
Yeah, she's fat shaming. She is literally, I think, also, I guess to a lesser extent, since wouldn't that make her kind of fat phobic?
But she is.
She's a bigger girl. Like, this is the weirdest fucking story I've ever seen. And you want to know who brought it to my attention, by the way?
Who brought it to your attention?
One of the Jamil, and I'm going to forget her last name, and I don't want to say it's Hill because that's not it. Jamila Jamil, who's from The Good Place, who I fucking love that show, which I'm still sad it's coming to an end after season 4, but what a way to go out. Like, going out on top is a way to go.
It really is. But this person is on this show. I've only watched like the first couple episodes.
You should.
Super delightful show.
Yeah, it's really good. But she posted, like, what an ignorant, shame-mongering clown she is. What a hateful, judgmental, uneducated stance to take on what is a positive, progressive, brilliant move by Nike. I commend them entirely and thank the writers. I think the writer best find the nearest bin and jump in.
Jesus. She got fucking pwned.
And that's not just her. Like, I'm just sitting there going, there are women out there who struggle with their weight on a daily fucking basis. And for this nutsack, you know what? No, this Carolina sausage knob to talk about, that's what I'm going to start calling people now. For this person to do this, like, it's so fucking terrible. Like, and also she uses there's a line in the article, man, that I don't understand how you can say this about people. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is honestly from the article. Yet, the new Nike mannequin is not size 12, which is healthy, or even a size 16, a hefty weight, yes, but not one to kill a woman. She is immense. She is gargantuan, vast. She heaves with fat.
What?
I have never in my life been so disgusted by the word heaved used in a sentence.
She heaves with fat.
She heaves with fat.
What? Is she like on medication that she just decided to stop taking? Is she like sniffing like Elmer's glue sticks?
I don't know if you can
Like,
get
is
high
she
from an
stuffing?
Elmer's
Is she
glue
like
stick.
encapsulating paint thinners and sticking them up her butthole? Like, what is going on right
paint
now?
thinner. What a paint thinner enema. That's the new gold standard. A fucking paint thinner enema. Oh my god. She heaves with fat. And by the way, here's more of that article. She is in every measure obese, and she is not readying herself for a run in her shiny Nike gear. She cannot run. She is more likely pre-diabetic and on her way to a hip replacement. What terrible cynicism is this on the part of Nike? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Wow, that is just hateful. That is just hate speech right there almost.
Oh my god. Fuck the fuck off by saying that she
Fuck the fuck off.
like saying that women will not be able to run. Oh my god, you, my dear, are the worst of the internet. Like, you and the photographer should just shack up somewhere and just talk
Now,
about how
is she
shitty
getting-
you are.
Is she getting raked over the coals?
Oh
on the
yeah.
internet?
And like, there's a positive body message coming out of it. Women are like, look, we're running 5Ks. We're not at the size 12. Fuck you. And I love it. I love when people get called out for stupid shit like this. It makes me so happy in my innards. Like, it just does. Like, I mean, yeah, no, I feel like this woman is not hating on the mannequin as much as she's hating on herself. And it's like, this is not how you go about it. Like, this shouldn't,
This sounds like an article of a woman who's kind of discovering her own hate for herself.
Yeah, no,
she
it
doesn't
is.
have hate for these people she's writing about. She just hates how much she's let herself go.
which, I mean, she probably hasn't. It's just what she sees in the mirror. And I'm going to say this now. This is not the way you go about it. Because, one, now you're technically going after an entire group of people. And how this fucking publication in the UK published this shit makes me go, well, but being the jackasses that they are, they quadrupled down and reshared it 6 times on the day it posted because clickbait. That's exactly now what this writer has become. She's become a clickbait writer.
And you know what? The Telegraph is usually pretty good. Like, I've read some pretty interesting stuff from the Telegraph. So normally they're a pretty good source of a well-written article, but this just sounds like we've said it before on this show and on this very episode, but this just sounds like a garbage fire.
It is. It is. It pretty much is. And I wanted to talk about this. I was going to write an article about this, but I'm like, you know what?
I don't think an article does it justice. I think people need to hear the vitriol and the anger in your voice.
The personal favorite thing is how everyone is calling her a hypocrite, and I don't disagree with it.
She is a hypocrite. She's writing an article about fat shaming people, and she herself is a heavy woman.
Well, not even
like,
just that. Not even just that. The articles in the preview, like the article she's wrote about, like shaming people for smoking. Like now, here you are shaming people for being bigger. Fuck you. Like, get your shit together. Oh my god.
It just seems counterintuitive. Yeah.
All right. Well, that does the entire show, guys. Next week, no, I'm kidding.
Cock tease.
All right, are you ready?
I've got to say this. I'm just going to get right into it. So I went and I saw X-Men Dark Phoenix yesterday. And I won't get into a huge review. It's a good movie. I had fun. Like, it was fun watching these characters do their thing. Was it a good ending to the entirety of the Fox-owned X-Men franchise? No, it really wasn't. But if there was going to be another X-Men movie, this would just be another solid addition into the film canon. Like, it's not as bad as X-Men Origins Wolverine. It's not as bad as X-Men Last Stand. This is the best X-Men movie, not counting the spin-offs. This is the best mainline X-Men movie since X-Men 2. Hands down. It was really good. Like, Fassbender is, no pun intended, magnetic. James McAvoy is really, like, these people are good. And they've been playing these characters for a while now. It's a well put together movie. It has problems. I mean, there are things that I'm like, oh, that could have probably been done better. But you know what? And at the end of the day, Richard, it was just a good, fun movie. And then, so, like, when I was leaving the theater, I'm like, oh, I wonder what other people think. Because this was, like, one of the few times I didn't read the scuttlebutt on the internet before having seen the movie.
Okay.
So I plug in, like, my phone into my car, and I pull up a YouTube video, and I'm just listening to, like, a conversation. Like, one of my favorite, used to be, as we'll get into in a minute, one of my favorite used to be channels to, like, in terms of movie discussion and nerd discussion in general, is Collider. I was a big fan of Collider and everything that they're doing over there. They do some really good stuff. Like, they had a Game of Thrones special that was really good. They were doing cool things. So then I plugged in the Collider video and it said spoiler review Dark Phoenix. I'm like, all right, cool. I just watched it, so it's not really spoiling me on anything. So I plug in and I watch it. Or I'm not watching because I'm driving, but I'm listening to it as in podcast form, and I'm listening, and I'm like, okay. So this video is like an hour long, and it takes them like a good, like 10 minutes to say anything of note about the movie. And then from there, it's three people talking about, like, oh, it is, and this is, I'm paraphrasing. This is not, I don't remember exactly what they said. So, like, oh, this is absolutely the death of the X-Men franchise. This is the worst X-Men movie ever made. It's the worst Rotten Tomato review. That's when as soon as he brought up Rotten Tomatoes, I'm like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Real loud. To no one, but just out loud. And they're like, it's the worst reviewed Rotten Tomatoes movie ever, X-Men franchise ever. It had the lowest box office score. There's so many plot holes. The acting was not that great. You could tell it's like they weren't saying anything positive about the movie. And then, Richard, I texted you not long after this moment happened, or maybe I did. I just later that night. I had an epiphany.
You did. You texted me. You actually texted me and went, "I have an epiphany." Which I assume the lights from heaven shine down on you at the same time.
It almost felt like it did. And here's my epiphany. Fandom sucks.
Oh, shit.
Fandom, as it stands right now, sucks. People, and I'm going to start getting loud, so be warned, people.
I'm turning down your mic.
People are so fucking entitled over something they have no creative control over. It pisses me off. People just don't know how to have fun anymore. Everything's got to be not everything has to be Avengers Endgame. Not everything has to be a fucking 10 Oscar nominated fucking movie. It doesn't have to be an event picture. Sometimes you go to the movies to just have fun. And nerds these days do not know how to have fun. All they know how to do is go on YouTube and be like, this movie sucks, and watch me. I'm the first person saying how bad this is, and blah, blah, blah. People worked hard on that movie. They put passion and love in that movie. Yeah, maybe it didn't turn out the way it was supposed to or the way it should have. But you know what? You didn't make that movie. You didn't put any money into the production budget. You didn't write the script. You didn't cast the actors. So go fuck yourself, because you know what? That movie was fun. Was it the best X-Men movie ever? No, it wasn't. But you know what? I'm glad that I saw it, and fuck, if I had the money and the time, I'd go see it again. Fassbender was awesome. McAvoy was awesome. Sophie Turner was great as the Phoenix. The special effects were great. The battle sequences were awesome. It was a fun fucking movie. And you know what? It isn't just this movie, Richard. It was Game of Thrones. It was a small contingent of people with Endgame. It's it's
Star Wars.
Star Wars. I mean, people these
Pro
days
wrestling.
in the
Oh my
modern
God.
iteration of fandom, I mean, this is across all fandom. I'm talking X-Files, Doctor Who, Star Wars, X-Men, Avengers, video games, every corner of fandom you could possibly think of. This is the prevalent culture now. It's not even a subculture anymore. This is the prevalent culture. People are only fans to tear shit down. People do not know how to just enjoy things anymore. It hurt my heart so much coming out of that movie, having enjoyed it as much as I did. And I'm not just saying that like to make a point. I really enjoyed that movie. It was super fun. And yeah, if I were in charge of making that movie, there are things I would have done differently. But you know what? I'm a fan. I'm not in charge of this franchise. I don't own it. The creators own it. The actors own it. The people who made the fucking movie own it. I don't own it. They don't owe me anything. This entitlement that people have, which really I think came to a head when the whole Ghostbusters fiasco happened.
I don't know. It was either that or Star Wars, man.
I feel like Ghostbusters was the first like large scale national conversation, and then Star Wars Last Jedi came after the female Ghostbusters.
I mean, the first of the new trilogy, a lot of people hated because look, new characters.
Or look, it's a black stormtrooper. Or look, it's a woman. Like, get over yourself, man. The world is moving forward. Move forward with it. Rey is one of the best written Star Wars characters since the original trilogy. Finn is a fucking awesome character. And you know what? I fucking hope Finn and Poe fuck in the final movie. Because you know it's there. You know it's there. They got that gay romance, and I fucking hope they commit all the way to it, because that would really stick it to the goddamn fans. I'm so heated right now.
I love it. I fucking love it.
It hurts my heart, Richard. It really does, because I've been a fan my whole life, and I have just loved this stuff. And yes, there have been things I've liked more than others, or there have been things that maybe have not been as good as other things. But you know what? At the end of the day, I just love it. I love my bad movies. I love my good movies. I love my bad games. I love my good games.
Here's a fair question to ask you, because I feel like you could answer this right now because you're on fire. Is there something you enjoyed where you left after it was over going, and then hearing all the people talk about it where you go, should I really enjoyed that?
Not a fucking snowball's chance in hell. I have never once, and I never will, let the critical or popular consensus dictate my interests. Case in point, Dark Phoenix. Fucking awesome movie. Nobody else liked it. I sure as shit did. I went and saw it, and I avoided the conversation beforehand because, one, I knew it was going to be a negative one. And two, I didn't want it to influence. You know, sometimes I'll get into the conversation or read the articles or watch the videos because I know that those opinions aren't going to sway my opinion. But sometimes this time I wanted to avoid it because, frankly, Richard, I'm tired. I'm tired of being a fan. I'm tired of having to defend the things that I like. I am tired of trying to defend why I enjoyed something. Fuck you. I enjoyed it. Leave me to enjoy the thing that I enjoy. If you don't like it, I'm sorry that your life is so miserable and so pitiful that you can't just have fun with something without having to tear it apart. But literally, go lay down on a fucking pair of railroad tracks and let that train run right over you. Because you know what? I'm still going to have fun. I like Jurassic Park, the Jurassic World. I liked X-Men 3 Last Stand. I liked The Last Jedi. I like Dark Phoenix. Go fuck yourself. Have some fun with your life.
But you didn't enjoy the Rob Zombie Halloween, and you, sir, can fuck
Well,
yourself.
those suck. Those are dog shit. That's
there we go.
There we go. The rule. But like, I'm sorry for getting so heated, but it really that instance of watching that video and listening to those fucking quote unquote supposed nerds.
Can I say it? Can I say what they are? Can I say what they are?
Yeah.
Carolina sausage knobs.
Carolina sausage knobs.
I swear to God, that's gonna be a T-shirt.
But fuck, man, like it hurts my heart because it's not like, you know, I don't care if this gets hate mail, and let the fans and the listeners say what they want. But honestly, Richard, if you really step back and think about it, this isn't the minority in nerd culture anymore. This is the majority.
Okay, is it though, or is it the silent majority? Because we don't know what others are thinking. Like, is it just this like? Let me not say silent majority. Is it just the minority that's speaking that we're hearing constantly? Because it could be.
No, because there are people who don't even go see these movies or watch these TV shows that are tearing it apart.
But I mean, there's probably people out there who enjoy Dark Phoenix. We just are not going to know it because they're not going to talk about it online.
Because they're too afraid, because the vocal majority are making their negative opinions known.
Right. I hate
like
those.
People are out there who, you're right, they probably enjoyed Dark Phoenix, but they're not going to say as such because the vocal majority are expressing their fascist opinions upon us. Yes, I went political with it. Fuck yourself. It's sad.
I really
that
enjoyed
we can't
WrestleMania 9. That one sucked. that's kind of where I'm like, no, I get it. I get where this is. Like, oh, I enjoyed that. No, you shouldn't have enjoyed that. Well, what the fuck?
And that just sucks, man. Like, not every movie has to make $1 billion. Not every movie has to be perfect. Sometimes you just got to go and have fun. And you know what? And I'm going to say this right now. Like, I'm going to continue to write and contribute for the magazine because I believe in what we do, and I feel like we are one of the lone positive forces in the world in terms of internet nerd culture. But I don't think I have it in my heart to write reviews anymore, because to pick apart something, to criticize a labor of love for somebody just feels counterintuitive. If you're not going to, you don't have to like everything.
Oh, Rotten Tomatoes is the problem here. Rotten Tomatoes has killed movie reviews for me.
It's just killed critiquing in general. Like, you know, Kevin Smith said something a long time ago that I never really, like, I was like, right on, but I never really put much stock into until now. I was listening to one of his podcasts, and I don't know if it was either Smodcast or Hollywood Babylon. It was one or the other. But he said something. He's like, I'm just not going to critique movies. If I don't like it, I'm just not going to talk about it. There's no point in critiquing something that somebody put a lot of hard work into.
Can I make a statement, by the way? The critics thing was a 23%. The audience score is a 64.
So, do you see what I'm saying? Like, these online critics can go stick a dynamite up their assholes because these movies aren't made for them. Like, and that's the weird thing. Like, I cannot believe I just said that, because these online critics were fans at one point.
Were
but
they,
then
though?
the YouTube advent, and then the podcast advent.
I don't think half of the critics are movie fans. I still honestly believe this to this day.
Like, this fucker on Collider that I'm listening talking, he's the smug son of a bitch I've ever heard. And I used to watch their videos all the time.
I could guess who it is, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to get into
I'll
that.
fucking say his name.
No.
I'll say his name.
No, I don't want to get into that. I'll
tell you who it is off air.
Yeah, because I got to guess on who it is, because I know some of the people who work at Collider.
He did the spoiler review for Dark Phoenix, and I won't say his name. I won't get us in trouble. But he's the most smug son of a bitch, and whenever he's on videos, I never watch them. And what sucks is Collider was doing this brilliant after show for the last season of Game of Thrones, where they would have a couple people on and they would talk through the episode. And while I really didn't agree with a lot of what they were saying, it was still a fun conversation to listen in on. But this motherfucker gets on and he's just like, he does that lip smacking thing where it's like, well, this is what I think. Like he's like superior to everyone in the room. And it's just, Dark Phoenix broke my brain, but not in a bad way, in a good way, because it made me realize that sometimes you just need to enjoy something. You don't need to critique. You don't need to tear apart. You don't need to, if you didn't like something, there's enough negativity in the world. If you didn't like something, that's great. You don't have to like everything. Keep it to yourself. Let's put some celebrate. If you liked something, if you loved something, share it with the world. This world needs more love and celebration than it does negativity. And I think that's why I think, to kind of bring it back full circle, that's why I think I love that we're doing a huge emphasis on Pride Month, because we need that celebration, whether it's of being happy within your own skin or your gender identity or being happy with the fandom that you're a part of. Happiness is not exclusive to sexuality or pop culture. It's just happiness. Happiness just needs to be had. And these people don't know happiness. And it sucks because it's sucking the life out of fandom. It's sucking the life out of the world. And people just need to put a smile on their face, hug their neighbor, and be happy that we have what we have and stop tearing apart and wishing we had stuff that we don't.
Unless you enjoy pineapple on your pizza, then you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you're just a communist at that point.
I'm going to get hate mail for that comment. Like, that's going to be the comment that gets the hate mail this week. It'll be nothing else. Just go, you really had to bring up pineapple on pizza again, you fucker.
But that's the end of my rant. Like, sorry that I got super loud and heated there, but it just really hurt my heart because this movie was good, and it got killed at the box office because of online people like that asshole at Collider or every other. No one can sit there and say like, oh, well, this was good, this didn't work, but this worked. They're all just like, nope, this sucked. This is the worst X-Men movie. We're glad it's over. Blah, 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 blah. Bring on the MCU. Like, whatever, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of having to defend the things that I like. I like them. Whatever. That's my business. Fuck yourself.
I don't feel like there should ever be a argument like why you should have to defend why you enjoy it. Like I do enjoy debates because that's just part of it. Because there are times that we're both going to be like, you like something, I hated it, or vice versa over the dumbest fucking shit. Like the Batman movies. Like Val Kilmer's Batman, you don't like. I do. I know that, by the way, the vote was super close. So, I mean, it's kind of like, okay, so other people like it, other people hated it. It's cool.
You know
it's
what? That's awesome that you like Val Kilmer, and that's awesome that you like Batman Forever. And I love you for liking that movie. That's all you have to say. I don't like. We had a fun little debate, and we got heated, but it was fun.
Like a fun heated. It wasn't like I will stab you the next time I see you.
Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, I'm going to reach in through your butthole and pull out your uterus. Like, one, you don't have a uterus to pull out, so that wouldn't work. But, it's just, having a debate is different. Having a debate, it's like a mutual exchange of information. Like, you're not saying, debates aren't about proving one person wrong over the other. Debate is about supplying information to the opposite party that might not have been there.
It's a very interesting time frame here. And I mean, let me tell you something. Like the last 3 episodes of Live have just been the most fun fucking episodes.
Right?
Oh
They've been like equal parts like goofy and funny and kind of serious.
This one was all around both, and we got to tie both in. I want to talk about one thing before we go, and actually 2 things. I forgot we did not talk about the 3 from Hell trailer.
Yeah, the 3 from Hell trailer came out. It sucked. Let's move on.
Really quick. I actually defended this I don't remember if it was the Brody Richard show or this show last week.
What did you defend?
I said that I couldn't wait for the movie. And that
it was I think it was it had to have been
it was probably one of the
Brody Richard show, because I know we talked about the horror movies on that.
Yeah, but we also talked about Rob Zombie movies on this show too last week. And I want to just say this.
Okay.
I'm sorry I was wrong.
You don't have to apologize.
That trailer's bad, and I mean, like, I'll still see the movie because I mean, it's still like a continuation. But I mean, like, if we're going by the trailer, that trailer's shit.
Like, I know I just went on this rant about not talking about things to critique them, so it's kind of like wagging the dog's tail or whatever the phrase is.
That trailer was bad.
It just was like, I'm really gonna try and not pick things apart anymore. The one thing, what I don't like about trailers,
is when, like, let's say you have 2 minutes, typically 2.5 minutes
to tell
a standard length of a trailer. When you use half of that time
to show clips from your old movies,
clips from your previous movies, you're in trouble. What makes it even worse is that this trailer was only a minute long, so you really only got 30 seconds of actual footage.
And not even that. Like, it was just like clips going, well, now here they are. And I went, okay, so I figured this is just a teaser. This is not the official trailer.
I'm really gonna that whole rant was really just kind of a way for me to say, look, I'm gonna try and be more positive about things. I really am.
I can't about that one. I'm
that
sorry.
Trailer, it's a missed opportunity. I'm hoping that we get an actual trailer, because that was like that.
Do you think it's a teaser?
More like an announcement.
I felt like that was a teaser trailer. I felt like that was the equivalent of, hey, we're back, and then like we'll get a trailer like a few months. Yeah, and I mean that movie comes out later this year.
Because
go ahead.
Not everybody is like us. Like, not everybody like stays up to date on like internet news and like stuff like that.
I try not to, even that I write it.
Some people don't really stay up to date in that sense. So maybe this trailer is more meant for like the general public. Like, hey, Rob Zombie's making another movie. It's a sequel to the 2 movies that you probably liked. It's coming out soon.
It's a sequel to the 2 movies you probably liked.
I have to put that qualifier.
That has to be like the fucking title now. It's the sequel to the 2 movies that you kind of liked.
Probably liked. That's something like the Honest Trailers dudes would put together.
Okay, so before we wrap up this edition of Live, because we're about done, I want to make something abundantly clear to everybody.
Okay.
This is not a rant. You guys have inflooded my inbox about 2 things that you want.
Okay.
And besides bits, and like every so often we're going to do bits. I think the last episode had Awkward Batman.
Yes.
This show this show has started with a bit. I just don't know what it is at the time of the recording. I am going to let you know those are coming back. We were going to do a game today, but E3 happened and E3 won.
E3 trumps all.
Yeah, E3 E3 trumps hate. So here's what we're looking at. I'm going to let you know that more bits are coming. That's going to happen. I am also going to let you know, well, this is kind of an announcement I've not made and you don't even know it.
Okay.
July.
Yes, there is a month called July.
Everything changes.
That's ominous.
Yep, that's what I'm going with. Not the shows, like not this show, but July.
The website?
Maybe.
Are you getting a sex change?
No, but maybe. Well, maybe.
Well, that's everything. That falls under the umbrella of everything.
Well, the website complete. Like I am doing this whole new thing. I have not made a conscious decision on what shows will go on what days yet. But also, you guys have demanded that Cinecrap be weekly, and I'm leaning towards it starting in July as well because Star Wars. And I'm like, I know Star Wars is coming up later this year. And during the 25 days of Crap, have I made this announcement yet that we're doing the 8 days of Star Wars during the 25 days?
I feel like that you have, but go ahead, remake it.
If I haven't,
never have them up.
If I haven't, the 8 days prior to the rise of Skywalker.
I am the Senate.
So 8 days prior, we are going to watch the 8 movies prior.
And not including the 2 spin-offs.
Yeah, we're not gonna do Rogue One or Solo out of just we're doing them for 8 straight days. Then we go into Christmas movies. So woo!
Woo, that's gonna be a busy fucking month.
But also there will be an 8 movie tournament that month as well to devote it on what is the greatest Star Wars film.
Oh, do you even need to do the tournament? You know these assholes are just going to pick Empire Strikes Back.
I don't know. I really don't know. It's either going to be Empire or the first one, and I really want this to go down, but I might actually start the whole fucking tournament that way. So I don't know. There's going to be 2 tournaments during the 25 days, but I really want to let everyone know that 8 days of Star Wars during the 25 days of Christmas, and that's a mouthful, but that is happening. But I'm listening to you guys, and Cinecrap has become the fastest rising show we've ever done.
Nice.
And I know you guys want more Cinecrap, and we are giving that to you this week with fucking Spice World.
I'm so excited for that movie tomorrow.
And like that's they're doing the cartoon movie now that we just got announced, and I'm like, what the hell? And not to mention that we're also doing Tu Wong Fu, but I am listening to everybody, and that is one of the biggest things I get emailed about. So, all right,
Nice.
we will discuss this more. But I know there's gonna be like we can do movies all the time. That's not a huge deal.
I want to ask a question.
30. Wait, do
about
I need
something
do I need to play the mailbag song all of a sudden before we get off the share? Before we get
No. I just I don't know if we discussed this, so I'm sorry if we already have.
It is peanut butter jelly time.
What?
It is peanut butter jelly time.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's our show then.
What is it really?
You said to me last week that you had someone who emailed you about the trouser incident show.
Yeah, about the Brody and Richard show. Yeah.
Is that something you're gonna tell me about, or are we saving that for like an on-air special?
That is our next episode of the Brody and Richard
live?
show. No, the Brody and Richard show. Yeah. There has to be stuff talked about on that show. I mean, shit.
Well, I mean, I know. I just was curious because you've left me in suspense. You haven't told me anything about it, and I've just been pondering what
There's
it is.
been a fuck ton of emails about that episode of our show. If you haven't listened to that, you should. Like that might be the defining episode of the Brody and Richard show so far. It is the weirdest episode we've ever done of any show, maybe ever. I've had so many emails going, you two have had terrible, terrible dating stories. I'm like, no, I get it.
That's not even scratching the surface. Like I've saved like in case we do like a sequel
trouser incidents too.
The trouser incidents 2. Revenge of the shit.
Well, no, it's got to be Electric Boogaloo.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
So guys, next week live returns to somewhat normalish, unless something crazy happens like the Chip and Dale reboot. Not going to talk about that.
Yeah, let's not discuss that because that's going to extend out for like another hour.
That's another thing of just anger, and that's what we've done on this episode. Next week, back to normality. And don't forget to listen to Cinecrap and SNS. If you haven't listened to the Billy Dixon interview, you should. Check out Striking a Chord and every other show TBK Radio does. Who knows? There might be some wine drinking by the end of the month. And on that note...
Way to bury the lead there, sir.
Yeah, well... I'm kind of just like I want to I'm going to give a lot of I'm very what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to be very cryptic with a lot of things coming up.
But you're not even being cryptic. Like that's the least cryptic thing you can say.
No. July. That's all I'm going to tell everyone is July.
Okay. All right.
Everything is going to, well, not everything. Okay. Most things are going to change. That should be it.
Fluffy.
Things will change. Kinda.
God damn.
That's it. That's going to be the tagline for this like campaign I'm doing. I just figured like I'm doing this whole marketing campaign for July.
Things change. ... Kinda.
Things will change. ... Kinda.
Oh, I love it.
All right, so that's going to wrap up this edition of I almost said the Bernie and Richard Show. This episode of Live. Is there anything you would like to add?
No, I'm sorry for getting loud at the end there, but like it just it really, I don't get on hate rants like, or it wasn't even a hate rant. I don't even get rants like that often, but when I get passionate enough about something, it really, gets stuck in my craw, and that was one of those things.
And remember, kids, don't be a Carolina sausage knob. And until next time, we're going to end this show like I do every other episode with Torgo, and you know what to do, sir. Take us home
tonight.
You cannot stay. The master would not approve.